And he's alongside Richard Kone in attack. On the benches, West Ham have Finlay Herrick as goalkeeping cover, Kyle Walker-Peters, Pablo, Guido Rodriguez, Thomas Soucek, Ollie Scarles, Andy Irving, Mouhamadou Kante and Eridas Golombekis. And for the visitors, QPR, Ben Hamer, the goalkeeping cover, Keely Adamson, Sam Field, Paul Smith, Timothy Akindeleni, Kieran Morgan, Daniel Benny, Escudinha and Tylon Smith. And the referee is Thomas Kirk. And alongside me, Andy Rowley, for live commentary of this one between two clubs he knows very well indeed. Delighted to say Bradley Allen is alongside. Good afternoon again, Bradley.
Yeah, great atmosphere, Andy, to welcome both these sides this afternoon. Let's hope this London derby, FA Cup third round tie doesn't disappoint and the players can build and thrive off that. Really looking forward to watching this game alongside you.
West Ham, obviously you look at the names on the team sheet, the front three they've got, you'd obviously on paper make them favourites, but QPR will have a lot more continuity in their team, you would think.
Yeah, there's been a bit more rhythm, although I'm disappointed not to see Burrell start with an injury that he's picked up in the attacking lineup. But Coley gets another opportunity, a youngster that's had to be patient, come through the ranks with Kone. 4-4-2 for QPR. They'll be hoping initial stages they can withstand the strength of West Ham's attack and get themselves a memorable victory here.
West Ham United in the claret shirts, white shorts and white socks, and QPR in the blue and white hoop shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. And the ball is headed upfield by Queen's Park Rangers. Back goes Todibo for West Ham and plays it back to his goalkeeper Hermansen. Kilman on the ball now, back in the team this afternoon. Were you a little surprised to see West Ham go with the five, or at least the three centre-backs today?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, because Mayers, for me, is more of an actual left centre-half than a wing-back. Having seen him come through and been developed as a homegrown one in West Ham's academy. Wan-Bissaka, we know, can play that position and actually has been one of West Ham's better players probably across the last 12 months or so. But they'll be thinking that, you know, they can push them on. They've got the discipline of Magassa and Ponce centrally, and it'll be like a five-man attack with those wing-backs high and wide, pushing the QPR defence towards their own goal.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka back from African Cup of Nations duty. And they will be pleased to see him. He's in that right wing-back role with Mayers going down the left, as Bradley mentioned. Here he is, Wan-Bissaka, flicking that, looking for Bowen. Doesn't quite reach him on the pass, and now QPR will try and break forward. So sent way upfield for Kone to chase, but Hermansen's out to the edge of his penalty area, picks that up and rolls it out. Three-time winners West Ham, last time of course with Sir Trevor in 1980, QPR finalists a couple of years after that in 1982. West Ham of course 18th in the Premier League at the moment, QPR 11th in a championship which is very tight, so 7 places between. Here's a crossing from Wan-Bissaka, and now headed out towards the midway part of the QPR half. Still haven't quite got it away. Bowen was on it quickly. Then it's up the touchline, and that'll be flicked up in the air by Nuno Espirito Santo. Throw it to West Ham.
Yeah, first real attacking move, and that wide and high position that Wan-Bissaka we know is going to be encouraged to work into. Got a cross on the right side of the pitch. QPR just had enough players back, defended that delivery, but they're just sort of grown into this one, the home side, and the home fans are encouraged.
So West Ham passing the ball around at the back, and Kilman looking to maybe play one forward. He actually goes short and square to Todibo, and now Kilman moving it out to the left-hand side. Up the touchline they will go to Mayers. He's trying to work it back in field to Potts. Real battle for Somerville to keep the ball. He scampers back towards the halfway line, then plays it back to his centre-half Mavropanos. Now Todibo. QPR fans in terrific voice.
Yeah, great noise.
And it just makes such a difference in the FA Cup, Bradley, when you've got the 9,000 as opposed to what would probably be 3,000 on the day.
I love that idea with increased numbers for travelling fans, opportunity to buy tickets, the journey, the experience, albeit it's not been very good in this old romantic competition for many a year, Andy, has it?
No, well, Queen's Park Rangers, if you aren't aware, have got the worst record of any club in the FA Cup third round since it changed to the current format of the competition. That's 1925-26, so over 100 years ago. QPR have been eliminated from the third round of the FA Cup more often than any other side. 52.
Staggering statistic, that one.
But, you know, they're there to be changed, aren't they, Bradley? That's what we always say. And QPR will be desperate to do that this afternoon. West Ham will want to keep it going as they are passing it around at the back, not being pressed too hard in defence when they have it, West Ham at the moment. QPR aren't going to fall out of position too much to try and press them too high up the field. It's a ball over the top. It's a rogue balloon. It's floating around on the pitch down there below us, and it's beyond Coley and Kone, all the way through to the West Ham goalkeeper Hermansen. So West Ham back in possession, rolling the ball across the back. Now Potts sending it up the left-hand side. Somerville is scampering after this. Came so close to his first goal of the season, Bradley, on Tuesday. Hit it absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, that was a big moment, probably, wasn't it?
Felt that way, yeah.
The defining part of that second half against Nottingham Forest.
But I would have fancied them to win from there if they got it.
2-0 up. I think that would have been too much for the visitors, and they obviously transformed it, and a big 3 points to Sean Dyche's side. But just nudging forward here, really for the first time, QPR, and moving the ball with a bit more control into the West Ham half of the pitch.
You're listening to Total Sport Live on BBC Radio London. We've got Arsenal against Portsmouth in the FA Cup on the South Coast. Harlequins taking on Stormers in the Rugby Union Champions Cup as well. As QPR on the attack, it's a great run. Scampering into the penalty area was Dembele, but eventually his run brought to a halt, and West Ham can clear the ball away up their left-hand side. It's nodded back forward by Queen's Park Rangers. They've got it in the heart of their midfield. Now it's out to the right-hand side, and Benge sending it forward. There's a chance here to tee it up. They send it straight across the edge of the goal line.
Good chance.
Sato.
Best spell.
Cut out
6 minutes in, half-space run to the byline from Sato from the left-hand side. He found himself in that right half-space, and I think if he'd have just smashed his cross across the 6-yard box, Coley and Kone were waiting for a delivery, and it just went straight into the hands of Hermansen at that near post area. But better from QPR.
West Ham on the ball with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the former Manchester United and Crystal Palace defender. Bowen chests it in field. It's worked its way to Magassa now. Magassa sending a pass out to Somerville on the left. Here he goes, Somerville looking bright early on. He's going to play it into Bowen. He's tried to return it to Somerville, but it's cleared away by QPR only as far as Kilman. Now the former Wolves defender playing it in field to Potts. To Debo up the right to Wan-Bissaka. Bowen trying to link up with the defender up that right-hand side. It's tackled just before he can make something of it there, and it's going to be a throw-in to West Ham. To Debo. Back to the halfway line to Mavropanos. Former Arsenal defender plays it short to Kilman. Now it's with Magassa in the midfield. Potts, two fresh central midfielders who didn't start on Tuesday, with a point to prove. To Debo. Up the line to Wan-Bissaka again. He's tried to thread a ball in. It's just behind Magassa. Castellanos is after it. He's put some pressure on the goalkeeper Walsh, but he manages to get the ball upfield, and it's headed back to his goalkeeper by Mavropanos at the other end of the pitch. It's a great crowd in today, Bradley. Actually, I think it's a lot better than the crowd on Tuesday in terms of numbers.
It appears that way. The atmosphere, as we've already mentioned, is good. West Ham generally having the better of it, certainly in possession without creating any early chances yet, but West Ham, you know, we're going to keep probing here, but the first 20 minutes of this one I think are going to be crucial if QPR are going to earn or get themselves a famous victory. Coley's done well, just got his body in. That's important, you know, for the team, just to take that pressure, not let the Premier League side build momentum.
Bradley Allen alongside me, Andy Rowley, here live at London Stadium for this FA Cup third round commentary of West Ham against Queen's Park Rangers. We're bringing you on BBC Radio London, BBC 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sport Online and BBC Sounds. So great to have you with us wherever you might be this afternoon. And West Ham United with plenty of work to do after a horror run that has seen no win in the last 10 games. Meanwhile, Queen's Park Rangers been ticking along pretty well, but no massive improvement in the away form of late. Just one win in their last 7 away. That's a little slip there from Hermansen.
Yeah.
The ball was headed back to him by Mavropanos.
It wasn't the best challenge from Kone, and then just nuisance value really from the young striker Coley that forced the mistake and sliced clearance from the West Ham defender. And QPR have been quite effective for a few weeks now with set plays, especially with the likes of Jimmy Dunn and Cook, experienced defenders that are aggressive, like to get their head on things. Left-sided corner for QPR, in-swinger, nearly 10 minutes on the clock.
They've all headed forward, those players that Bradley just mentioned, to try and get on the end of this corner. Here it comes to the back post. Coley's there, and he's headed wide of the goal. He didn't really hit the side netting there, but got himself into a great position. No one really picked him up beyond the back post, and he didn't get his header on target.
No, he should have, although it was very congested inside that 6-yard box, and QPR didn't have a load of players in there. The youngsters should have just sort of headed it back between the frame of the goal. Unmarked, on the angle, not the best of connections. There wasn't a huge pace on the delivery, out for a goal kick.
So West Ham in possession. We've had 10 minutes of the first half here. As you'll be aware from yesterday, games like Newcastle against Bournemouth, extra time and penalties might be required on the day. No longer go to those replays that we had for so many years. There's a penalty on the south coast. Portsmouth against Arsenal. Alan Seabrook.
And it's gone to Arsenal. We're just about to have it taken. Madueke bursting into the penalty area. He was brought down. The referee immediately pointed to the spot. Madueke has ball in hand at the moment. He's just getting ready to spot things up. The keeper's on his line. A little bit of bounce left and right. Arsenal would go 3-1 up with this one, having been a goal down after just 3 minutes. Madueke then looks like it's going to be a left-footed kick from the winger. Comes out, stuttering run, left-footed, skews it wide of the target, but Arsenal remain in front. Pompey 1, Arsenal 2.
Wow. Thank you, Alan. You could hear from the crowd which way the penalty had gone there, because there was huge cheers at Fratton Park. Here's Bowen at the QPR end of the ground, trying to make something happen. Sends the cross straight across the face of goal. Castellanos can't turn it in, and QPR will allow it to go out for a throw-in on the far side of the field. 0-0 here between West Ham and QPR in the FA Cup third round. What's been the story of the Champions Cup match this afternoon at the Stoop between Harlequins and the South African side Stormers? Phil Parry can let us know.
Yeah, Andy, it's been a very good afternoon as far as Harlequins are concerned. They've beaten Stormers by 61 points to 10, an even bigger victory than when they hosted Stormers here last season. A hat-trick of tries for Nick David. The back row all scored. Cunningham South, Dombrach, Kenningham, who got man of the match. A late try for Jared Evans, and even off the bench, young Zach Carr powered forward as well to cross over. Marcus Smith was virtually perfect from the tee. Stormers got a couple of tries late on, but this is a morale-boosting, much important, hugely important win as far as the Quins are concerned. They've beaten Stormers 61 points to 10.
A first defeat of the season for the Stormers, so they've taken out a team that's going very well there, Harlequins, and as Phil says, that will be a big morale booster ahead of their last match of the pool stage, which is away to the mighty La Rochelle. So that's still to come next weekend for Harlequins. Later on this evening, Saracens face the record Champions Cup winners Toulouse in a what could be a real thriller up at the Stonex Stadium in North London. It's a 5:30 kickoff. That's going to be one to look forward to for all Saracens fans. That was a sellout, quickest ever sellout, I believe, for Saracens at the Stonex Stadium. So that's still to come. But we're live here at London Stadium where West Ham United are drawing 0-0 currently with Queen's Park Rangers early in this FA Cup third round tie. Bradley Allen is alongside me.
Yeah, we just had an exciting passage of play from left to right hand side. QPR switched the ball, Dembele got intercepted, and then on the counter attack out to Bowen Cross, and Castellanos couldn't get on the end of the delivery. And then central midfield, there was a transition. Sato maybe turned the wrong way. Magassa pinched his pocket, and the QPR winger pulled back the West Ham midfielder, and I think that was the first yellow card of the game.
And that went to
Sato of QPR.
Thank you very much, Bradley.
You're welcome.
Hadn't spotted that while we were hearing about the rugby union score. Big win for Harlequins. Meanwhile, Arsenal leading, but have missed a penalty in that game on the south coast against Portsmouth. I feel that they've played them a couple of times in the last few years, Arsenal in the FA Cup. I say few years, the last 10 years or so. I was definitely down at one myself a few years back, but I think they played there down during COVID, and Mikel Arteta was asked about that and said he actually felt himself coming down with it while he was managing the game down at Fratton Park in those awful times we were having back then. But they've been paired with them again, and big afternoon that for all Pompey fans, with Arsenal coming to town, the Premier League leaders, as that ball is sent forward towards Kone, headed back to his goalkeeper very well by Mavropanos.
Yeah, it was a good idea. Kone tried to sort of pull away on the back of the West Ham defence there, and from right to left the diagonal pass was struck from right fullback Mbenge, who just didn't quite have the required length or connection. But I think QPR can take encouragement from the first 15 minutes or so. We said about navigating their way through. They've limited West Ham just to sort of general possession. No chances of clear note just yet. Sato, has he got a muscle injury? He's gone to ground. Might require some treatment. This is a little bit of a worry. So Queen's Park Rangers might have to consider and get some substitutes quickly warmed up here.
So you mentioned a couple of the injuries. Burrell, Varane, QPR, when they've got that first 11 out, we've seen that they can be contenders. They dragged themselves back into the playoff race when they'd slipped to about 17th in the league.
Yeah, it was such a poor start, worrying start actually, and then they found big improvements. It's brought them closer to certainly where the fan base will want to be, just outside the playoffs, and a push there. Bit of mixed results really over the festive period, but they're showing patience with this new coach that comes from pedigree in European football, and they'll be hoping his style and his influence on this QPR group of players can at least give them mid-table championship stability this season, and dare I say, a bit of an FA Cup run.
Wow, well, yeah.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Certainly would, as there's still a bit of treatment going on for Sato.
Maybe they're going to err on the side of caution here. He's just picked up that yellow card. Paul Smith is quickly been readied. The Queen's Park Rangers number 11 from the substitutes bench, and he is coming on.
Of course, played not too far down the road with Leyton Orient for a while, Paul Smith, and he strikes me as the sort of guy who will relish an occasion like this, Bradley.
Absolutely, yeah, he possesses that energy and enthusiasm that all top wingers want. The QPR fans are always happy to see him in a starting lineup because he does give 100%.
So Smith is on, and he has replaced Sato, who, as Bradley said, looked like he might have been able to push through it if they really wanted to, but they've decided that they're not going to risk it, and he has made way. They've just reached half-time in the FA Cup third round tie between Portsmouth and Arsenal, and Alan Seabrook can bring us up to speed.
Yeah, half-time, it's Pompey 1, Arsenal 2 at the end of a FA Cup tie with energy goals and incident that started as early as the 3rd minute when Colby Bishop gave Pompey the lead after snuffling up a chance that had only been parried by Kepa inside the 6-yard box. That was a lead though for Pompey that only lasted 5 minutes. A corner corner into the area, and Andre Dozzell put the ball into the back of his own net before Arsenal took the lead on 25 minutes. Corner into the penalty area once again. Martinelli applying the finishing touch with a header inside the 6-yard box, and indeed Arsenal should have had a third on 43 minutes. Madueke, who having won a penalty, stepped up to take it and shuffled it left-footed wide of the right-hand upright. Pompey are up for this, no doubt about that, but Arsenal are in command score-wise. It's Pompey 1, Arsenal 2.
Thanks very much, Alan. We'll keep you posted in the second half of that one. Just the one goal in it as things stand. Earlier on this afternoon, Derby were giving Leeds a run for their money, but the Premier League side came through to win by 3-1 thanks to goals in the last 35 minutes from Nonto, Tanaka and Justin, after Ben Brereton had given the Championship side the lead. It's Swansea 0, West Brom 0. Sheffield United have just equalised against Mansfield, 1-1 in that one. Dembele breaking forward, he's got Mbenge on the overlap. Here is Mbenge trying to wrap his foot round this. He's sliced his cross, and that's gone behind. And after really busting a gut to get up there in that move, that was a disappointing cross from a player generally I've seen play centre-back, Bradley, but not right back.
Perhaps he wanted the offload and pass from the diminutive Dembele a little bit quicker. You know, he initially broke the challenge that allowed on QPR's right-hand side that breakout and counter-attack, but then when he played the ball outside and the marauding run from the QPR fullback, it was running away from him and the football towards the byline, and it was always difficult to get that right hip round it, and he couldn't produce the quality on the delivery and cross that QPR needed.
As I say, 1-1 between Sheffield United and Mansfield. Lou Reed giving Mansfield the lead. Perfect day for him, Bradley. And
very good, Andy.
Thank you. Gustavo Hamer has got the leveller. Norwich are 1-0 up against Walsall. Jurasek has given the Canaries the lead in that one, and it's 0-0 between Hull and Blackburn. 4:30 kickoff between Manchester United and Brighton, which could be an interesting one, given you never quite know what you're going to get with United, and Brighton have won up there a few times recently. And tomorrow night, Liverpool against Barnsley wraps things up for the third round. Do you miss the old replays, Bradley? You used to have to do all those?
Yeah, it was part and parcel of it. You know, back in the day, obviously.
Sometimes they go on and on, wouldn't they?
They would.
Replays or something.
Yeah, the journey of the competition sometimes required you to sort of, you know, go 120 minutes or more. But for the benefit of the Premier League, bless them, and all the football that they play in Europe and all of that, that's been removed, hasn't it? And it's just straight to a penalty shootout now.
Yeah, but I do like the stories of those ones, you know, in days gone by, that sometimes they had to do it 4 times before they could get a winner. Back and forth they went. I mean, then it got changed to have extra time after the replay and penalties, as you say. I was at one of the last ones of those, I think, when Brentford went up to Wolves a couple of seasons back in the 4th round. No, 3rd round I think it was, but yeah, that's been knocked on the head for the time being. Maybe it will come back one day, but not for a while, you would think. As the ball goes towards Potts, that's a sliding tackle coming in from Hayden in the midfield for QPR, and now Dembele is racing forward. He's trying to find Coley through the middle, but Wan-Bissaka is there to clear that ball away, and Mbenge nods it down. Madsen tries to chip it out to the right-hand side, and Mbenge has continued forward, closed down by Meyers. Now it's worked in field, and there's a little clip of the heels there on Hayden. Free kick to
They're doing okay here, QPR. You just sort of sense their better moments with the turnover of ball and the breakout, and that large travelling Queen's Park Rangers away support are encouraged, and they get behind their side. They want that push. They've just not quite found that quality of final ball when they got into the and around the West Ham penalty box. But they've earned a free kick here. The corner before resulted in a free header for Coley that he couldn't do anything with. But it's the noise of the QPR fans that you can hear. Free kick. They've loaded the box. This might be a chance here.
So QPR plenty forward. West Ham have brought everyone back, and we've got 23 minutes on the clock in the first half here. West Ham 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Here comes the free kick. It's floated almost over everyone. Then up in the air it goes off Kone and caught well by Hermansen, who then sends a high hanging kick up towards Somerville. It's met in the air by Cook and then cleared forward for Queen's Park Rangers. Coley trying to get away here from Todibo. He's being chased all the way to the touchline. Coley just trying to cut in field, and the tackle comes in from Todibo. Throw in to
QPR. A couple
up.
of skirmishes is important. You know, them duels, you win the aerial challenge or you get your body in. He's done that well on a couple of occasions, Coley, just for his team. And again, they've just pushed themselves forward. It's Smith on the left-hand side here to take this throw in. Cook and Dunn up from the back once again.
So, some defending for West Ham to do here. And long throw in from Queen's Park Rangers. Wan-Bissaka meets it, and then a volleyed attempt from about 30 yards out from Cook. That was well wide. That would have been potentially goal of the round. And there's been a few good ones, but that might have been up there if Steve Cook had smashed that in.
Yeah, if that had gone in off of these right-in steps, I think Steve Cook would have had to post-game give us the lottery numbers, Andy.
Well, I was expecting him to go on a little circuit at the stadium like Harrison Reed the other day when he scored that.
Oh, what a
belter.
goal that was, eh?
Incredible, really amazing that. I was there for that one, and it was so amazing. Not just the goal, but to be in the 97th minute when everyone thought the game was up. Liverpool got the win, and then Harrison Reed smashes that in. Yet to have a goal in this one. And neither keeper's really been tested too much yet.
No, they've been okay, West Ham. You know, quite safe, quite controlled with the ball, but it's not carried huge risk, has it?
Yeah.
In terms of a 1v1 specialist or a forward pass, and they're just starting to get a little bit sloppy. Potts is just released. Bowen, though, better.
Chipping it forward to the England international. Bowen's got Wan-Bissaka on the overlap, knows he's coming. Wan-Bissaka's cross. It comes off the studs of Cook. Doesn't go into his own net, goes all the way out towards the touchline on the far side of the field. And QPR can try and break away with Dembele. His ball was telegraphed and intercepted by Kilman, who's now chipped it out to Wan-Bissaka on the right. Bowen back to Wan-Bissaka again, just outside the penalty area. He's chipped it behind everyone in the box, so Mayers will have to work hard to keep that ball in. There's that rogue balloon that's still out there. Mayers back in field to Potts. Now with Mavropanos to Debo. Wan-Bissaka again, out on the right-hand side. Links it back to Debo.
It's just a little bit safe, isn't it?
It is,
you know, just
very much so.
even like a midfield player in a central position.
Oh, dear.
Sort of first thought, can you play forward? Can you run forward? You look at that brilliant first goal Aston Villa scored in North London last night, and the
goal.
speed and the intricacy of that short, quick combination
And
right through the heart of the
passing,
pitch.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Every one
forward
of them.
passing, brilliant goal. That's
so precise.
sort of what this game is crying out for as we nearly get to half hour.
I was just talking earlier about Tielemans and how so much of that comes through him, his vision to be able to play those passes through the lines, Bradley. He's such a good player for Villa. But Tottenham didn't quite get going first half.
He'd be happy, wouldn't he, Julian Stefan, with the performance so far, a clean sheet. You sense that amongst the QPR fans, a bit quiet, been diluted, haven't they, the West Ham fans, who, to be fair to them, probably cheaper tickets this afternoon, have come out magnificently. Big crowd here inside the London Stadium this afternoon for this London derby. But West Ham so far, once again, Andy, have not really offered a great deal, have they?
That's it, they haven't given them much shout about. They want to get into it, the West Ham fans, but they've been given slim pickings so far. Maybe a break on here as Somerville crosses the halfway line. He's looked the brightest so far for West Ham, I would say. He's getting towards the edge of the penalty area. Castellanos tries a little back heel to get it back to him, and nothing wrong with that. That was he was attempting to make something happen, but QPR intercept it, and will now look to try and clear it upfield. Here's Walsh, who moved to QPR from Gillingham back in 2021. To Debo. gets the ball before a QPR player as it's played upfield. Now Magassa getting away from Kone. Todibo up the right touchline. Now playing it to Wan-Bissaka. And this is what West Ham have been able to do for almost half an hour. Just play it across the back with no worries whatsoever, because QPR are just not going to press them in those positions. And so the possession stats will probably be quite healthy, but it's not possession that would hurt QPR at all.
No, that's right. Not really enough ball. That's better.
Castellanos, Bowen trying to return it to Castellanos, but it's intercepted, and QPR will clear it away through Cook. Mavropanos stretching to get to that ball rather than let it go back to his goalkeeper, and he plays it to Kilman.
Yeah, but it was a forward pass, wasn't it? A little bit more central, and Castellanos wasn't able to get hold of it. But jinky run here from Smith. Break out for QPR.
To Kone. He's got Coley up there with him. He's also got Smith. Plays it back into the heart of the midfield. Hayden and Madsen working together to get it out to the right hand side, and Benge has been tackled hard by Potts, and the referee says that is a free kick.
Yeah, a little clip of the heel, bit rash there from young Potts, who's done ever so well getting some starts in the West Ham first team, and
quite something, isn't it, to follow your father like that?
Very much so. He's been one of the few pluses really in a West Ham shirt. But another free kick, another set play for Queen's Park Rangers, which they might be able to work and give us the opening goal in this FA Cup tie.
Sometimes when a centre-back is playing out on the right or left, you sort of think, well, I'm not sure if that's going to work as well, but he has got good pace, hasn't he? And
he looks
to the attack.
Athletic, very powerful. As and when QPR have switched to play, and he's supported and got forward on that right hand side. But this is going to be an in-swinger from that right, from the left-footed Dembele. And again, QPR fans are believing here.
Dembele, who has good quality from these sort of positions, the former Celtic forward. Right arm in the air, here it comes. I've given that the kiss of death, I'm afraid, Bradley. That was not the quality that I was expecting. He's looped it well over and wide, and I think for the manager and the coaching staff, those are the ones that hurt the most, really, because you've worked on that and everyone's up, and you know that you might not get that many opportunities.
Great point. What a waste that was. One to forget, the QPR winger.
West Ham have the ball at the back. You're listening to Total Sport Live on BBC Radio London, BBC 5 Sports Extra, and West Ham QPR locked at 0-0 in this FA Cup third round tie. Lots of other games going on this afternoon. We'll keep you posted on how things are going. It's still half time between Portsmouth and Arsenal. Arsenal leading 2-1 in that, but have missed a penalty. Here's Somerville breaking into the penalty area. Oh, it's a good shot, but it's lifted just over the bar off a great save by the goalkeeper Walsh. Somerville must have thought that was going in the top corner, but Walsh had other ideas. Corner to West Ham.
Yeah, best moment for West Ham. You called that one. You said about the sharpness of Somerville, who's grown in confidence. He was pretty decent in the loss to Nottingham Forest here midweek, and he just swiveled back onto his stronger right foot, and Walsh helped it on his way. Rising shot, tipped it over. Bowen to take the corner here.
That was fingertips, wasn't it? It wasn't quite in the top corner, but it was a great save. Bowen, that's a really devilish in-swinger. Goalkeeper hasn't got it at the first attempt, but he scrambles to get it into his gloves at the second attempt. Very nearly turned in by West Ham when it wasn't claimed first time. And it remains 0-0. QPR on the breakout.
Yeah, I thought on the second ball there, when the goalkeeper was initially sort of bundled and under pressure, that inside that 6-yard box there was going to be a West Ham player that was going to take advantage of that. But good move here from QPR down the left.
Cross in from the left hand side. Norrington Davis sending it in. It's headed clear by West Ham out towards the touchline. It goes to Wan-Bissaka. Now Magassa beckoning players to come short for him. No one really helping him out that much further forward. He's looking at Bowen as if to say, come on, show for me, and Bowen's giving him a long stare back.
Yeah, I'm just fast forwarding, Andy, and picturing this game. If Queen's Park Rangers can just stay in this one, score line for long enough, they will get a chance, and it just might be the difference this afternoon.
Well, every time you're facing a team that is struggling for confidence, the longer it goes on, that'll weigh so heavily on West Ham.
More nerves, frustration. And they're just, finding a little bit of football. Clever from Smith. I like that.
Smith darting infield. He's just been harried there by Potts, though, and lost possession. And now Somerville gets it out to Bowen. He's surrounded by blue and white hoop shirts, but he gets it forward to Somerville, who's just been nudged there by Hayden, and that will be.
Yeah, it's good tracking though. He sensed that the wingers between them were combining and trying to break really quickly and fast down West Ham's right hand side, and Hayden tracked from midfield, and he just sort of put a little bit on Somerville there, knocked him off the ball, but it is Hammers' free kick.
Yeah, it was one of those that you thought, well, maybe he could just leave it there, but the former Arsenal and Newcastle midfielder going back towards his own goal didn't really want West Ham to go any further with that one, and just lent into the West Ham player, and it'll be a free kick to the Irons on the right hand side. Looks like Potts is going to take this one, and West Ham loading the box. Better spell this for West Ham. In comes from Potts. Looks like that's over hit. Mavropanos is trying to keep it alive. Kilman actually was trying to keep it alive there on the back post, but it's come off him last, and it's a goal kick to QPR. 0-0, 34 minutes gone between West Ham and QPR.
Yeah, I think the QPR coach will be gaining a lot of confidence with what he's seen from his side across this first half so far. And you just sense that you're amongst the West Ham fans. They've been such a frustrated bunch across the 6 months of this season, and how disappointing, how inconsistent their side have been. And they've seen it all before, Andy, haven't they?
Yeah.
Before now, in many home performances, where they've been on the end of the wrong result, and that's why they find themselves in the bottom three in the Premier League.
What worries me, Brad, is even Jared Bowen is starting to look like he's lost that little bit of confidence that's always in his game generally. I mean, it's just, there's been a couple of times where he's laid the ball off on the edge of the penalty where you would think normally he'd just rifle one goalwards. I mean, I'm not sending any criticism his way because of all the West Ham players. He's been the one.
It's a very good point that you make. And it was against the run of play when they played Brighton here in the first 10 minutes. I thought the visitors dominated that, and then Bowen sort of sped away. They got caught cold, Brighton, didn't they? And he finished really well. But the West Ham fans, with how important he is to this side, and with how few players actually do hit the back of the net, that burden responsibility must weigh on him very heavy. And I think you're right to sort of identify that in his performance, I would probably say, over the last couple of months.
Well, do you know what? I was looking at it before kick-off, Bradley. I believe that Magassa's had one goal. All the other goals this season in the 11 that they've picked today have come from Bowen. There's no other goal scorers out there today.
That's a big worry, isn't it?
It is. So the burden is so heavy on Jared Bowen. Somerville's not scored. Castellanos has just arrived, of course. Magassa, as I say, has got one. But no Paqueta, no Fernandez today. Callum Wilson, of course, out of the picture. We'll go to Fratton Park in just a moment. West Ham on the attack here with Wan-Bissaka playing it to Todibo. Cross is blocked by Coley, but it has forced a corner for West Ham, which Bowen will come across to take. Let's go to Fratton Park, Portsmouth Arsenal, latest from Alan Seabrook.
Yeah, just 4 minutes on the clock in the second half, and Pompey have started in lively fashion, and they get a shot in at the far post that's blocked by Arsenal. Martinelli will try and lift that down the left-hand side. Our Gunners, of course, falling a goal behind after just 3 minutes. Kobe Bishop with an effort from close range, but Arsenal quickly back in the game. Just Zizelle with an own goal from inside his own 6-yard box, and then Martinelli on 25 minutes, glancing header, found the target. And of course, the Gunners have also missed a penalty. Maduaka dragging the ball wide of the target. At the moment, though, Pompey 1, Arsenal 2.
Mavropanos is down after the corner came in for West Ham. Bowen sending it in. It was another difficult delivery for Walsh, the goalkeeper, to deal with. He was shoving Mavropanos in front of him to try and reach that ball. Mavropanos has stayed down since that. He was just trying to get some space to attack the cross, the goalkeeper, but It's a bit worrying how Mavropanos has stayed down for so long here, Bradley.
Yeah, he's requiring some immediate treatment, but you're right, Andy. You know, West Ham actually, a couple of their better moments have come from a couple of corners, because like from a defensive point of view on set plays, we know how poor West Ham have been, and the amount that they've conceded. They're right up there in the charts as one of the worst in the Premier League this season. But delivery there, sort of a lot of congestion inside that 6-yard box, making it difficult for young keeper Walsh to sort of convincingly clear. It went over him, and I think it was Mbenge just inside that far post on the goal line that headed away, and QPR got away with that. But Mavropanos in that challenge might have been knocked clean cold out here, and certainly might be concussed, it looks.
It was, as I say, when you saw Walsh just give him a bit of a nudge forward, it didn't really look, that physical, but I didn't see how he fell, whether he fell into someone's knee or something like that, because, as you say, Brad, it looks like they're going to have to get a stretcher on here for the Greek defender. And they're bringing that on the motorised buggy now. And this will be a enforced change for West Ham, and we hope Mavropanos is okay. There's plenty of medical help out there tending to him. And I just wonder, Bradley, given the surprise at the start about them playing the 3 centre-backs, whether they dispense with one of them, because in open play they haven't had to deal with that much from QPR.
No.
They've been passing it around at the back, but it's taken a player out.
Sato's now off and been replaced by Smith. Dembele, 1 or 2 moments, okay. Kone's not really done anything at all so far. He's been, completely on the edge of the game. Curley's worked quite hard, and 1 or 2 moments. As an attacking force, QPR have had little bits and earned a free kick and a corner themselves. But that really has sort of mirrored the pattern of the game, where you'd say both teams defensively have been on top.
Bradley Allen, the voice you can hear alongside me, will be back here shortly, but there's been another goal in the FA Cup tie at Fratton Park between Portsmouth and Arsenal. Alan Seabrook.
Yeah, and it's gone to the Gunners. They're 3-1 up now. Jesus with a little ball across the 6-yard box. Martinelli sliding in from 6 yards, knocked it home. The Gunners seemingly on their way. Pompey 1, Arsenal 3.
I noticed Alan was just, not totally committing there, just saying that you would think from where they are now, the Gunners are in line to close that one out, but stranger things have happened. But Arsenal looking to make it through to round 4 as they look to try and extend their record as the team that has won the most FA Cups in the history of this great competition. Just looking down at the touchline, West Ham were readying Aridas Golombekis, the defender for West Ham, just 18 years old, born in England, but a Lithuania and England youth international. And it would be a big opportunity for the London-born defender, who's been with West Ham in the youth setup since the age of 8.
Yeah, he's a highly thought of young player. Journey through the academy, locally sourced, real potential. Pablo, new signing, he's probably going to come on here. I think, stating the obvious, we are going to have a good few minutes of injury time as we approach 45 minutes of normal time for the Red to add on because of the treatment. This is that head injury to Mavropanos.
So I saw Golombekis getting ready, but actually this is what I was hinting at, Bradley. I think this is a smart move from Nuno, because
probably going to a back 4 like you say.
Need more.
Pablo will come in an attacking midfield position.
So Pablo just preparing himself, ready to come on. Saw him in that Forest game. After, strangely, he wasn't brought on against Wolves even when they were 3-0 down, having just signed. He's left on the bench, but he's about to come on here. And it's another factor in this game, is that what it would do for Castellanos or Pablo to get their first goal for the club. It would really potentially work wonders for their confidence if they could get on the score sheet here this afternoon. I mean, West Ham fans, I'm sure, would take a goal however it comes, but they'd certainly be delighted if one of those gets off the mark this afternoon. Mavropanos is still receiving treatment, and they're just preparing to put him on the stretcher by the looks of things. And as with any injury to head or neck, they take every possible care to make sure that there's the player is looked after. So while this is going on, some of the fans have actually nipped down to get a few of those giant hot dogs, Bradley. I saw the popcorn stall was open.
Yeah, a good few departed and took the opportunity to use the refreshment concourses around the stadium. Bit of a sort of a strange moment, really. Quite quiet, quite eerie. And I think the majority of the thoughts of all the fans is they're just hoping that Mavropanos is okay, as you say, as he's just placed on that stretcher, and he will leave the field of play. We wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, we certainly do. Jarrod Bowen is just making his way over, the West Ham captain. Everyone has given the medical team and the player the space, which is good to see. But Bowen, as the captain, is just edging over to show his support to the big defender. We're just ticking over to 45 minutes gone, but as Bradley mentioned, there will be quite some stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's going to be 9 minutes to be added at the end of this first half. And we still haven't got Pablo onto the field to replace the defender. There's applause ringing around the ground as Mavropanos is taken off on the stretcher aboard that buggy. And we certainly wish him well. It was at the corner where he was just nudged, and I didn't see how he fell, but it's obviously a lot more serious than anyone would have first thought, having viewed the incident from afar. And they haven't played any replays, as is often the case in these kind of situations.
Yeah.
So
fingers crossed.
We're not quite sure exactly what occurred there, but we hope that Mavropanos will be okay, and we'll try and bring you news on that a little later in the programme. We're back underway here in the FA Cup third round tie. West Ham 0, QPR 0, and it's a chance here for Magassa to break forward. Can he pick the cross here? It's flown behind off the boot of Steve Cook, the veteran, and it's going to be a corner to West Ham with 1.5 minutes gone of the 9 to be added at the end of that first half. Well,
excuse the pun, West Ham just might be able to catch QPR cold here, mightn't they, with that long extended stoppage to the Mavropanos treatment. Another corner. This is probably where West Ham across this first half have looked most dangerous. Bowen will take the corner from the right hand side for West Ham. It's going to be an in-swinging left-footed delivery. Oh, the referee has spotted something. He's going to call a player or two over here. I think it might be Mbeng has been pushed over, maybe by Kilman.
Kilman is coming over with Mbeng, and so they're going to have a little ticking off maybe from the referee, who's just having a word. Thomas Kirk is the referee, by the way, here this afternoon, and hopefully that's the end of that. It's just a bit of a wrestling match, and Kilman in the end just shoved Mbeng, who went over, but referee says right, let's get on with it. And here comes the corner from Bowen, swung in again, punched away by Walsh. That's going to fall to Smith, who tries to clear it upfield. It's gone straight out though for a throw in to West Ham. Ball has picked off one of those cones and thrown short, and Magassa will sweep it out to the right to Todibo. Not the first time the pass has been a little bit overhit, but Todibo keeps it in. Back to Wan-Bissaka. QPR have got their structure back as they set up very much in a 4-4-2. this afternoon. QPR with Coley and Kone, the two front men. Bowen moving the ball across the pitch to Kilman. Now out to Mayers on that left-hand side of the defence, on the halfway line. Goalless here between West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers in the FA Cup third round. Arsenal seemingly on their way to making it through to the fourth round, to join the likes of Brentford, Fulham and Chelsea. Chested down by Magassa. Now Wan-Bissaka. Bowen. Sweeping a ball forward, and there's a little wrestling match going on there between Dunn and Castellanos, Pablo rather.
Yeah, needs to be a little bit careful, Jimmy Dunn. Sub. Pablo just made a little darting run from the ball that was flighted in off of West Ham's right, on the left foot of Bowen. And the West Ham sub tried to sort of nudge off of Jimmy Dunn. Little bit of contact. Just got to try and navigate their way through the remaining 4 minutes or so in these injury time minutes. QPR.
Kone trying to play that ball out to Smith on the left, didn't reach him. Then Pablo can't keep it for West Ham. Arsenal 3-1 lead they have at Portsmouth. Look like they might be going through, and if they do, there will definitely be two more London clubs going through this afternoon, because one of these two has to make it into the fourth round. Which one will it be? It's going to be decided this afternoon whether it has to go to extra time and penalties or not. Swansea are 0-0 against West Brom at half-time. Mansfield are leading Sheffield United now by 2-1. Another one for Lou Reed. And Norwich 2-0 up against Walsall. That's also reached half-time. Makama has got a second for Norwich in that one. Two fairly early goals in the first half for them to put them in charge against Walsall, and it's goalless between Hull and Blackburn as they've reached half-time. 4:30 kickoff for Man United against Brighton in the FA Cup third round. Hearts are 1-up at Dundee in the Scottish Premiership in the title race, which they lead as things stand. Rangers still to play this afternoon away at Aberdeen for Rangers, who are level on points with Celtic in second and third, the Old Firm, as Jimmy Dunn thumps the ball clear upfield. It's going to be Todibo underneath it, controls it on his thigh and then rolls it to Wan-Bissaka. Closed down by Smith, who just has a little nibble there at Wan-Bissaka. And then ball is with Potts in between his two centre-halves, rolls it to Kilman. He's going to drill a pass upfield. It's actually worked out quite well, this one for Mayers, in towards Castellanos. It's a great challenge from Dunn, who watched that all the way, knew the danger, and just got to something on that before Castellanos could try and turn it in. And then there's a foul on Mbenga's QPR try and break up the right-hand side. Great work from Steve Cook.
Yeah, covering that near post. Good run from young Mayers. Pretty straight long ball over the QPR defence on West Ham's left-hand side, and the youngster got to it. Immediate thought to deliver on the run. Good area. Castellanos still sort of working match fitness and sharpness. Couldn't get in front of Steve Cook, who defended that and cleared with a lot of experience.
These sides have met 10 times in the FA Cup in their history, and QPR shade it. 4 wins, 3 draws and 3 defeats for the R's against the Hammers. This is the first meeting in the FA Cup since 1995, so 30 odd years since these sides have been paired together in this most famous of or oldest cup competition in the world. And the ball is eventually cleared away by West Ham there under a bit of pressure. Magassa just
tried to break quickly. It was central within his feet, Magassa, after Dembele's effort was intercepted, and West Ham tried a late break at the end of this first half, but he struck the ball straight off the field of play, much to the frustration of the West Ham fans, and it's largely sort of summed up their performance, isn't it? One or two moments, their best threat from set plays, but not too much else in a creative sense. And as you've highlighted, Andy, you've got some players here that are lacking quite a bit of confidence.
It's quiet as well, isn't it? you'd say for QPR, that's one thing you want to do, is quieten down the home crowd, and they've largely done that. Obviously, Somerville had that effort that Walsh did well to save, and there's a couple of corners that have caused a bit of a worry for QPR, but West Ham haven't landed too many punches so far. And they've gone out at this stage in the last 2 seasons, West Ham, after having gone through the third round for 6 straight seasons before that. They don't want to make it 3 in a row. It will just add to the general feeling of disappointment this season if they were to go out. Flick on from a long throw, cleared away by Magassa for West Ham. QPR trying to get it back into the West Ham box. They've still got it high up the field. It's rolled out to the right for Mbeng to try and get a cross in. Here it comes. Oh, it wasn't too far away from maybe going in at the far post, but looked like Hermansen had that pretty well covered.
Just lacked a little bit of feel, didn't it? They recycled it, worked it again to the advancing Mbeng on that right, and he overstruck it, and it dipped sort of away and straight out for a goal kick. And I think we're nearly there upon the restart. Those 9 minutes have been played, and the ref will blow pretty quickly.
During the half-time break, we'll keep you updated with what's happening with Arsenal and get a recap of Harlequin's game, but this is a big chance at the end of the first half for West Ham, and Somerville has struck it in off his left foot, worked across the box through 2 passes from West Ham. Somerville running onto it, and he smashed that past Walsh for a goal in the last minute of stoppage time in this first half. And after his goal was chalked up against Forest on Tuesday, this one will stand, and West Ham will go into half-time 1-up. West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0.
Oh, QPR have kicked themselves. That's, pretty much out of nothing. Down the right-hand side, just the ball was played in field. Cook lunged in on the challenge. Pablo did well centrally, pushing in that position and across to Somerville, who's arguably been West Ham's sharpest player. And when he found it, he got it out of his feet, and he's just hit a shot quickly beyond Hermansen, squeezed in that near post. The goalie got a little bit on it, but not enough on the block. And West Ham have probably stole a goal there and got themselves in front. And on the restart, that'll be half-time. 1-0 to the Hammers.
Well, an understatement to say they needed that, but Castellanos did well to kind of win the ball high up the field, and Pablo, the other new signing, quickly got it in front of Somerville, didn't he? Allowed Somerville to run onto that, and 2 touches from Somerville before he let fly with that left-footed shot. He's lashed it past Walsh, and that has given West Ham the lead at the break as the bubbles are sent off into the sky. The West Ham fans will be relieved and delighted by that strike right at the end of the half from Somerville. And at the break, it is West Ham United 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0.
Total Sport Live.
BBC Radio London.
Well, Bradley, that's a real kick in the teeth for QPR, who've coped well with what West Ham have thrown at them largely in that first half, and just a little moment where they were caught out, a little 50-50 really, which Castellanos has won, and then 2 passes later, it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, very much so. Disappointing for QPR, because really across a rather average FA Cup third round tie, where both sides sort of lacked a little bit of quality and creativity in that final third. Only really some half dangerous set plays of note. You thought, even after that worrying Mavropanos injury, we wish him a speedy recovery after that aerial challenge from a West Ham corner that resulted in being stretchered off, that it was going to end in 0-0, but there was good 10 minutes or so played in those injury minutes, and right at the very end, in the last 30 seconds of play, West Ham just found a little bit of quality. QPR just defensively have been stubborn and organised, got out of position across to Somerville, and he sort of got it out of his feet and finished smartly inside the near post to nudge him in front.
Given what a half-time team talk they were probably in for there, that's kind of saved a few of the West Ham players from, not a rocket necessarily, but it's just completely changed the half-time team talk.
No, we're not completely sure of Nuno Santo's style of management and communication with his players behind the scenes. But I think he would have been asking for a little bit more of an attacking push, especially as the home side, and to be fair to the West Ham fans that have turned out in force, because with that Premier League Championship difference between these two London clubs, he'd have wanted to have seen a little bit more oomph and go. But you're right, Andy, you said it in commentary a couple of times. There's a good number of these West Ham players, just because of league position, lack of form, lacking confidence, and that's very clear. But the lead will lift them. QPR are not out of it, but they're going to have to sort of throw caution to the wind at some stage and commit forward to try and tie this one back up.
Bradley, thank you very much indeed for the time being. Bradley Allen alongside me, and we'll have second half commentary of this FA Cup tie between West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers. Crysencio Somerville's first goal of the season has given West Ham the 1-0 advantage ahead of that second half. Well, already this afternoon we've had a cup tie that has been decided in a London club's favour, and that was the Champions Cup Rugby Union between Harlequins and the South African side Stormers. Quins coming into the game under some pressure given their form domestically, but they've had another excellent home win in the tournament this afternoon, and Phil Parry was watching that victory against the Stormers, Phil, and I imagine the crowds were welcoming that result today with open arms.
Brilliant atmosphere, yeah. I mean, the storm clouds were starting to gather a little bit around here, and I think they've been feeling the pressure. Obviously, we spoken to Laurie Dalrymple, the chief executive. I know you're going to hear that a little bit later about the first half of the season and some of the disappointment coming into this game, Andy. One win since October, that was against Bayonne in this competition. They actually did put in a good shift against Leinster, didn't they, in this competition as well, away from home, and it's not hard to go, it's not easy to go to Ireland and get anything out of Leinster, and they put over 20 points on the board. They were beaten on that occasion, but they needed something this afternoon, because since then, you know, the big game over the road against Bristol was a big defeat. They got absolutely mauled points-wise by Northampton, who can do that to you. They were leading against Sale and then lost heavily in the second half recently as well. So I think there was a lot of hurt. You know, Jack Kenningham, you know, homegrown talent, who got player of the match today, by the way, quite rightly so, because not just scoring a try, but his work at the breakdown and his work in creating opportunities for the other players to help score those 9 tries they got today, by the way. 9 tries. Only 8 of them convert. Marcus Smith, his first attempt wide on the left-hand side, he missed it. But apart from that, he was perfect off the tee as well. So, I mean, it was a great afternoon, but there was a lot of pressure. But they came out, and their structure defensively was really impressive. Their discipline was really impressive. And then we saw the Harlequins' DNA as well, with the way that they wanted to and want to play rugby. You know, there were some off-the-cuff moments. There were some great line breaks. There was some, you know, there was some flicked passes, there was some offloads, there was, I don't know, as they grew in confidence as the match progressed, certainly through the first half, it was a joy to see, actually. And I think everyone here, from a Quins perspective, and there was a lot of Stormers fans, actually, to be fair to them, but from the Quins perspective, it was a much needed afternoon, and they qualified for the last 16. They've already done that. You know, they picked up a bonus point in the defeat to Leinster with the tries. It was a bonus point, you know, win before that. So they came into this knowing that, and with results yesterday being in their favour, that they had a real chance. So they've got one more game to go, a trip to France next week, but they'll be filled of confidence, I think, as a consequence of this.
Yeah, 11 points, Phil. You know, even a bonus point from that Leinster game, as you say, 2 5-pointers at home. So while things are looking pretty gloomy in the Prem, there's a chance that they could go on another run in this competition. Yeah. They could even get a home tie in that last 16.
Yes.
And we saw last season with Northampton, you know, the defence of their Prem title was going so badly, but they went all the way to the final. Quins 2 years ago going to the semi-finals. Yeah. It could give this season a bit of a lifeline, really.
Is your name Jason Gilmore? Because you've basically, the final question I asked him is that answer you've just given, which is, look, Northampton last year is the model they want to follow. They've had a really tough first half of the season. They've got quite a few players still missing, if you think about it, the likes of Finn Baxter and Will Evans and Stefan Levies, you know, experienced players there who are not in this squad at the moment. We saw Tyrone Green come back in today. We know what he can offer from 15 when he joins the attacking line as well. So there's a lot of positivity. You know, the likes of Zach Turner, I mean, the first touch of the ball, right, for Zach Carr, should I say, not Zach Turner, Zach Carr, off the bench, you know, a young lad who's coming through, there was a number of them there. The first touch of the ball was to get on the end of a little race through. Brilliant work from Luke Northmore again, and he finished it off with great pace. I was really impressed with the work of Lucas Friday today at scrum half. So I think there was a lot of positivity, and what was really good was to see the smiles on the faces. And why not in this competition?
Yeah.
So if they can go and get a victory in their fourth group game, get a home tie in the round of 16, which comes, you know, there'll be a break before they have to play that because of the Six Nations. I don't know. Domestically, they've ruled out the chance of getting in the top four, and I think that's probably a wise thing to do. There's work going on behind the scenes now, and we'll hear from the chief executive a little bit later, and of course on Thursday. But I don't know. I think this was an important afternoon, and when they met these two teams last year, just before Christmas, it was a really big win on a cold Friday night, if I remember rightly. They ran in 53 points on that occasion. They bettered that, and the South Africans, their head coach, we've heard from him, he called it humiliating, and he said we just weren't on it. Yeah, we weren't on it. We knew they'd be tough at the breakdown, we knew there'd be moments where we had to be switched on, and we were not. He said he thought he picked a team, even though he made a lot of changes, that could compete. And let's just mark this, they'd won 10 straight this season, Stormers, in the URC and in the Champions Cup. And this is their first defeat, so another marker. The only thing that annoys Jason Gilmore was that he was a bit frustrated that they didn't keep them to a 0. He said the 2 late tries they conceded, we could have done more to stop them, and that is typical coaching, isn't it?
Yeah,
really,
especially a defence coach.
A defence coach, he won't be happy, but he can't be too unhappy because you know, when you put 61 points on a team that are top of the URC and currently and previously unbeaten all season, I think you have to be happy with that.
Happy Gilmore, I like it
very much. So
Phil, thank you very much indeed, and we'll look forward to hearing a bit more about that game and hear from the Chief Executive of Harlequins, Laurie Dalrymple, a little later in the programme. It's Total Sport Live on BBC Radio London, and let's cross to the studio next. Jamie Reid is here to look back on yesterday's FA Cup football and to preview the Rugby Union later this evening as well.
Thanks very much indeed. We'll focus on today's other fixture by going straight to Fratton Park. There's been another goal for Arsenal. Here's Alan Seabrook.
Yeah, it's now Pompey 1, Arsenal 4. Martinelli completes his hat-trick. Meduake with the ball in from the right-hand side, and it was smashed into the roof of the net from close range, as I say, by Martinelli. If Arsenal weren't on their way before, they certainly are now. It's Pompey 1, Arsenal 4.
Thanks very much indeed, Alan. Good to see Arsenal in imperious form, top of the Premier League, going well in the FA Cup. Well, non-league Macclesfield produced the greatest shock in the history of the FA Cup with a stunning and memorable performance to knock out holders Crystal Palace 2-1. The Eagles just weren't really at it. Let's hear from boss Oliver Glasner.
We missed any kind of quality today. Haven't seen anybody who could win a dribble, then conceding another set play goal, losing the header, no timing in the header. We know this, but to do better. Second goal was more slapstick goal, and on the other side, if you can't create clear chances, we didn't have really, maybe 1 or 2 right at the end, but everything else, lack of quality what we have shown today, and that's why we lost and we deserve to lose.
Well, promotion-chasing Millwall was swept aside by Premier League strugglers Burnley, who scored 3 first-half goals to win by 5-1. Better fortune for Fulham. Second-half goals from Harry Wilson, Emile Smith-Rowe and Kevin helped them come from behind to defeat promotion-chasing Middlesbrough. Another win to please Marco Silva.
I never ride myself in this competition. Doesn't matter if you are the biggest contenders or not, and you are not, we know that. But I think any Premier League side should dream to be there or should aim to be there in the last game of the competition. Not a dream, really, a goal to be there. And we are in the same page than the others. You want to go as far as you can be, and the clear to look for the final of the competition.
Well, Brentford continued their excellent season by cruising past Championship strugglers Sheffield Wednesday. The Bees made 8 changes. Igor Thiago, one of those who was rested. They won by 2-0 though in Yorkshire. Keith Andrews pleased to progress.
Played some really good football, respected the competition, respected the opposition, which again we always do. I think we've got real humility as a group about where we are, where we're trying to go to, and where we've been as a club. And really good performance with some really good individual performances within that.
Aston Villa increased the pressure on under-fire Tottenham Hotspur head coach Thomas Frank with a battling 2-1 victory in North London, and Liam Rosenior began his reign as Chelsea head coach by overseeing a dominant display that saw off Championship side Charlton. The Blues triumphed 5-1 at a sold-out Valley to get the new era up and running in style.
The first goal comes at a really good time for us in the game, just before half-time. We get the second, they score from a set play, and it becomes a good old-school FA Cup tie. When you've got the players I've got in my group, and when the game opens up towards the end of the game, I thought we showed some moments of magical football. I like to see one-touch play combinations. It was a really good game, and delighted with the result.
Well, let's turn our attentions to tonight's rugby union as Saracens host the 6 times Champions Cup winners to lose at the Stonex. The North London side had a disappointing performance in their defeat last weekend at Leicester. Director of Rugby Mark McCall says they've had some tough conversations this week.
I don't want to tell you guys what's happened over the last 24, 36 hours, but rest assured that we've called a spade. And we've been honest with everybody, and everyone's been honest with us. And we've confronted what was wrong. And like I say, we've got to do something about it now. There's not much to say really, so we just got to go and do.
Well, McCall says they've got a big challenge against one of the greats.
There's a lot of excitement. Obviously, I think as far as I know, it's a sellout. Yeah. We're playing like one of the great teams, great club teams of the last couple of years, last 5 years probably. Star-studded team. So it's a real big challenge for us, but one everyone's really looking forward to.
The second half of West Ham QPR to come shortly. It's 3:41.
BBC Radio London.
What happened when the fake speed camera was installed, albeit for 2 days?
Oh, we were delighted.
The sound of London.
With what my dad went through with the Taliban, beautiful, amazing love story, then bang, Soviets, bang, conscription, bang, Taliban, then Mujahideen.
The sound of London.
What's the one thing you wish somebody had told you before you became a mum?
It's all right to be a bit scared.
Yes.
The sound of London.
I don't see myself as an uncle. I don't see myself as vulnerable. But clearly people do, because they offer me their seat on the tube.
That story is the reason you travel. Things happen when you travel.
The sound of London.
For me, it's a fascinating conversation.
Listen on your smart speaker
and on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio London.
Total Sport Live.
BBC Radio London.
Thank you very much to Jamie for the roundup of all of yesterday's action and a look ahead to Saracens' game this evening. We are live here on Total Sport on BBC Radio London at London Stadium. It's East London against West, and Queen's Park Rangers took West Ham all the way to the 54th minute, but couldn't quite hold the Premier League side at bay. Somerville with his first goal of the season. This is a big chance at the end of the first half for West Ham, and Somerville has struck it in off his left foot, worked across the box through 2 passes from West Ham. Somerville running onto it, and he smashed that past Walsh for a goal in the last minute of stoppage time in this first half. And after his goal was chalked up against Forest on Tuesday, this one will stand, and West Ham will go into half-time 1-up. West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. And that is how it stands going into the second half here. It was a pretty even first half between the Premier League side and the Championship team, but West Ham with the goal right at the end of that first half has given them the advantage and the chance to maybe progress through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. As you've been hearing, Arsenal well on their way to making it through to round 4 to join the likes of Chelsea, Brentford and Fulham. Will it be another West London side in QPR, or will West Ham strike a blow for the East and make their way into the 4th round in this second half? It's Bowen breaking away right at the start of the second period. The England international breaking into the box. It's come back to Wan-Bissaka off a deflection. Now Potts, he's helped it on to Somerville, the goal scorer. He's found Castellanos. As often with players who are coming in from foreign shores, sometimes it seemed in these first couple of games for Tati Castellanos that he just wants that extra little bit of time. And as we know, Bradley Allen, if there's one thing we know about English football is you don't get much time. It's frantic.
Yeah, pretty relentless. But a fast break there from West Ham, and I think, where Queen's Park Rangers are going to have to sort of start to commit further forward and not fall back in too early to that compact 4-4-2 shape that for probably 50 minutes of that first half served its purpose and kept a clean sheet. And Julian Steffen's tactics and setup was working a treat, really. That Somerville late goal in the injury minutes has put West Ham in front, and I think for Nuno, if West Ham get a second in, they'd probably get through to that fourth round. But excellent travelling QPR fans, big contingent this afternoon, have to keep believing that they can level this tie up and give us an exciting finish in this London derby.
9,000 QPR fans have made their way across London to lend their support, and QPR have a free kick which they floated into the box. It's headed clear by West Ham. Pablo, who came on at the end of that first half, Mavropanos, who'd suffered a bad injury, stretched it off. We're going to try and find out just how bad that is. It didn't look good for the big Greek defender. So that is the one change. No further changes at half-time. West Ham in the claret shirts, the white shorts and white socks. QPR in the blue and white hoop shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. And QPR playing from left to right in this second half towards the Sir Trevor Brooking stand in this London stadium. Well, let's, before we just run you through the teams again for the start of the second half, cross back to Fratton Park. Arsenal already well in front and almost job done. Alan Seabrook has been watching their cup tie against Portsmouth.
Yeah, it's still lead by 4-1, and we've got around 4 minutes left on the clock of normal time. Might be a little bit of stoppages, but a hat-trick then for Martinelli has seen them on their way this afternoon. The Gunners going to go down after just 3 minutes. Dezel's own goal then putting Arsenal level, but as I say, Martinelli then turning on the star with a hat-trick. They've also hit the post and missed the penalty, so Arsenal going very nicely into the fourth round for the first time in 3 years. It's Pompey 1, Arsenal 4.
Thank you very much, Alan. Just to let you know, in the WSL, Tottenham have beaten Leicester earlier on today by a 1-0. It was Ashley Neville own goal that gave Spurs the victory in that one, having a good season. Man City, the leaders, 2-0 winners over Everton. Chelsea beat West Ham 5-0 to just keep City honest at the top, as QPR break forward for Coley. Oh, he's gone down as he checked back, but referee not interested in that one as a penalty. Thomas Kirk, the referee. And another scoreline from the WSL: Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1. London City Lionesses are drawing 0-0 at Liverpool currently. Earlier on in the FA Cup, Leeds beat Derby 3-1, having been 1-0 down. Swansea are 1-1 now against West Brom. It was Ji-sung equalising, scoring first, and then Josh Maja getting the goal for West Brom. It's now 4-1 to Mansfield at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United, which is a brilliant effort from the lower league side, Mansfield, to be 4-1 up there at Sheffield United. Norwich are leading 3-0 against Walsall, and it's still 0-0 between Hull and Blackburn as West Ham come forward down their right-hand side. Cross looking for Somerville, but it's over his head. QPR will race over to try and get to that loose ball, and there's been a foul there on Dembele by Mayers, and that's just relieved a bit of pressure that was building, and it will be a free kick rather to West Ham midway inside their own half. So West Ham have Hermansen in goal, a back four now of Mayers, Kilman, Todibo and Wan-Bissaka, a midfield of Potts and Magassa, and they've now brought Pablo on to join the attacking trio of Somerville and Bowen behind Tati Castellanos, the centre forward. And I mentioned QPR unchanged. They did have a change quite early in that first half, with Saito having to go off injured. He's been replaced by Paul Smith. So they have Walsh in goal, the back four of Mbeng, Dunn, Cook and Norrington Davis, a midfield of Madsen and Hayden, with Smith down the left, Dembele down the right, and then Coley and Kone are the two forward players. On the bench for West Ham, Finlay Herrick, the goalkeeping cover, then Walker-Peters, Rodriguez, Soucek, Scarles, Irving, Kante and Golombekis. And for QPR, Hamer, Adamson, Field, Akindeleni, Morgan, Benny, Escudinha and Tylon Smith.
Just a yellow card there, Andy, when QPR tried to clear upfield down the right side of the pitch with Jimmy Dunn. Castellanos come across, the new striker, and clattered into Jimmy Dunn. The ref didn't miss it. Dunn went to ground. Free kick QPR, yellow card for the new striker there. But the game sort of continues to have that sort of cancelling out. One or two transition moments. Smith and Coley picked the ball up in promising areas, but couldn't able to sort of carry with more conviction into the final third. West Ham still feel with that front three, now Pablo on as well, who assisted for West Ham's first, that they can seal the game with a second themselves. But we need a player to sort of spark the beginning of this second half, really, with something a bit different and a bit of quality.
Some of that freezing fog we saw at the Valley last night, Bradley, is just descending.
Yeah, it's swelled into this enormous arena, isn't it?
Pea super, as they used to say. Ball is cleared away by Cook in defence for Queen's Park Rangers. Wan-Bissaka holding off Kone, trying to break up field. He's had to check back and then roll it in field to Potts. Potts off the outside of his boot. Now Pablo showing his skills, floating a ball out to the left towards Somerville, but Mbengue is there to head it down to Dembele. Dembele pokes it forward down the right-hand side. Now Coley and Bang coming in to challenge for that one, and it will be a free kick. It looks like he's just caught Kilman just on the shin there.
You know what, we don't get VAR checks, do we? No. Because if that would have been in the Premier League, and Ben got something on the football, but the follow through, you watch, he was over the ball.
Oh wow!
And he got a bit of the instep of Kilman, who's coming across in the challenge. A couple of West Ham players are just sort of saying to the referee, by Premier League standards,
when you roll over the top of the ball like that, it's always dangerous, isn't it?
That was a bit awkward, a bit nasty, that one.
Yeah. Well,
QPR fullback's a bit fortunate, I think.
Yeah. Julian Stefan is right out there on the edge of his technical area.
Yeah, he has awarded
look at this, I think
a yellow. That might have even been an orange card, that one, Andy.
Yeah. Well, I think Julian Stefan's annoyed because he feels that that's kind of retrospective because it's the reaction of all the players. But actually, if he watched it back, he'd think, actually, we've maybe got away with it.
Yeah.
So free kick to West Ham. Mayers is standing over it. As I say, he's had a little introduction into getting into the West Ham first team in the last few weeks, Ezra Mayers. It's not been easy, of course, given how things have gone of late, but the Wanstead-born defender, teenager who's made his debut in the draw at Brighton, played against them at home as well, amongst other games of late, getting his chance down the left-hand side this afternoon. I was going to say this evening, Bradley, because it's got a kind of evening feel to it now, hasn't it? As the sun sets. And the Olympic Stadium is lit up.
Temperature's dropped a bit, Andy, actually, isn't it?
It definitely
bit
feels
chilly now.
Chilly. Haven't put on my woolly hat yet, though. Might be one for a little later on. There's Kilman. Rolls the ball out to Mayers. Mayers, it's a good drop of the shoulder just to get away from the potential tackle from Dembele. Now it's straight up the middle of the pitch to Potts. Potts has been robbed of the ball though by Madsen, who gets it to Smith. Smith showing good pace down the left-hand side. He's been sandwiched by two defenders, but no foul. The away fans not happy about that. 9,000 QPR fans have made it here to watch their beloved hoops. And
yeah, a bit frustrated, Smith and Kone. They went after the ball. West Ham were passing it across their defensive shape, but not really going anywhere. It went into midfield. Potts got pressed by Madsen. It went back towards the corner of the 18-yard box, and West Ham again, just a little bit sloppy. And they're giving the QPR fans and the QPR players just a little bit of encouragement here.
Ball is played up the touchline by Wan-Bissaka, and he's continued his run, and he's galloping upfield down the right-hand side. It's a brilliant sliding tackle coming across.
Top defending.
Put that ball out into touch from Jimmy Dunn.
Love that. Full-blooded. Great foot race, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
The telescopic legs of Wan-Bissaka on the up, back and through, but Jimmy Dunn left his left centre-half position and on the cover there, slid across, knocked the ball out of play. Excellent defending.
You're listening to West Ham against Queen's Park Rangers in the FA Cup third round. West Ham leading by 1-0 thanks to Crysencio Somerville's strike right at the end of the first half stoppage time. After lengthy treatment to Konstantinos Mavropanos, who's had to go off on a stretcher. There's a tough tackle there from Magassa.
It's interesting, you know.
That's a yellow card.
The pattern that this game's falling in a little bit because of some of the confidence levels and actually the way that the game has sort of been. There's some frustration, there's some poor challenges to lapses in concentration. I don't think it'll be the end of the goal scoring, Andy, and that should give Queen's Park Rangers further encouragement here. It's just if they can get that ball with enough quality into that final third and create a chance or two here to win this.
QPR with the ball at the back, Cook rolling it across the edge of the penalty area to Dunn. Now it's going to be played upfield but sliced out into touch for a throw-in, just as those QPR fans were exclaiming how their team is the best. QPR have progressed from the last 3 FA Cup ties between these two sides. Most recently, a 1-0 fourth round victory in 1994-95. Andy Impey scoring the goal, Bradley. Do you remember it? QPR against West Ham, Loftus Road, under Ray Wilkins, of course.
Heady days.
Yeah. Ezra Mayers, cross, deep, headed back across goal, headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box by QPR. It's out into touch for a throw-in. And let's cross back to Fratton Park. Portsmouth, Arsenal in the FA Cup third round. Alan Seabrook.
Yeah, and Arsenal safely through to the fourth round of the Cup. Finished Pompey 1, Arsenal 4, but the Gunners go in the long way round, conceding after just 3 minutes as Kobe Bishop smashed home from close range to give the home side the lead. But the Gunners were back on level terms just 5 minutes later. They put pressure on in the 6-yard box and Dizelle knocked it into his own net. And the Gunners were in the lead before the break. Martinelli glancing a header into the back of the net from a right wing cross. In the second half, Martinelli completed his hat-trick, both from close range. First as Jesus put the ball in from the right-hand side, then across in from the other side that he slid in to knock into the back of the net. The Gunners also missed a penalty and hit the post. They're safely through. It's Pompey 1, Arsenal 4.
Thanks very much, Alan, and we might be able to bring you a bit of reaction to that before the end of the programme. We'll also look back on the whole of the weekend's FA Cup action on tomorrow evening's Total Sport. Join us from 6 o'clock for that, as well as on the breakfast show tomorrow on BBC Radio London. Queen's Park Rangers haven't beaten West Ham away since 1993. Talking of Bradley going down memory lane, those heady days for QPR in the early to mid-90s. Couple from Celez on that day to give them a 4-0 victory over at the Bowling Ground.
Played against my big brother and cousin that afternoon.
Wow, did you...
They just returned to the Premier League under the leadership of Billy Bonds, but...
did you keep it quiet, Bradley?
No, we enjoyed that one. I did text a few of my West Ham loving fans before this, and I just put, don't forget the 92-93 season.
Well,
bit of banter. You got to do it, Andy, haven't you?
Well, on my way up in the lift, I asked someone who had all the West Ham regalia on, someone who works for the club. I said, so they're going strong today. I was trying to get a little bit of info on the team sheets, Bradley, and he went, oh yeah, we're going strong. McAvenny and Cottee. I was like, wow, you really are going back a bit there to the glory days. Great times. With that front line, Bradley, they took the lead by storm, didn't they?
Absolutely. Chance.
Oh, he's almost teed it up there for Magassa breaking into the box. QPR, though, just about get a foot in, and now they'll break away. Half an hour to go for West Ham to put this one to bed, or for QPR to battle their way back into the tie. It's Coley. He's made a brilliant run here. He's all the way to the byline, and it's a sliding tackle.
Oh, he's unlucky because he's twisted Todibo up.
He's just got it back to his goalkeeper.
Reece Norrington released the QPR striker down QPR's left-hand side, and he just couldn't come into the left-hand side of the penalty box beyond Todibo. He was trying to muscle him and put him under pressure, and on the final ball with Kone inside that 6-yard box, he just couldn't find the cross, but it was a little bit better. But there's mistakes starting to happen here. Before that, QPR turned the ball over. West Ham perhaps should have done better of it, winning it inside that final third. We're going to get a goal here, Andy, and pretty soon.
He's quick, isn't he, the 20-year-old Coley? The Algeria under-23 international has certainly got some pace to burn, and Todibo was in a bit of trouble there, wasn't he? And he actually kind of got out of it by hook or by crook, really.
Yeah, he was a bit lucky.
Slid it back off a deflection to his goalkeeper. But it remains West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Norrington Davis infield, that's brilliantly intercepted by Magassa. Castellanos working it to Pablo. Pablo back towards Bowen. He's just couldn't drag the ball with him, just stayed under his feet, and QPR can intercept and work it out towards the right-hand side. Dembele is making a break up the right, found by Mbeng. He's got Coley in the middle. He's going to run at Meyers here. Dembele getting to the byline, trying to get it across. It's swept away by Kilman. Throw into QPR, although they'll keep it in fact. Mbeng, now he sends in the cross. Keeper's coming for it, hasn't quite got it. It might run for Smith. He's done brilliantly to get there. Smith fires it in. It's come off a deflection and behind, off Wan-Bissaka. Corner to QPR, who are really having a go now.
Yeah, we've got a cup tie. Good play from QPR. Better cross from Mbeng. Maybe Dembele, when he's gone at Meyers there, could have hit a harder cross. Again, the delivery is just evading Queen's Park Rangers. But there's just a sense of belief, a bit of confidence that this is the momentum shift in this game, and it's on their side for the visitors, and they might be able to, level this one up.
Here's the corner then for Queen's Park Rangers from the left. There's Castellanos has gone down on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it's him and Kone.
Just a bit of shoving, but he's dealt with this throughout the game, the referee Thomas Kirk. So this corner for QPR in front of the travelling fans in the Sir Trevor Brooking stand. 1-0 they trail. And here comes the corner from the left. In swinging, right-footed delivery, headed back across goal. Coley drops for him, and he's tried to sweep it as it dropped over his shoulder, but
it's a chance.
Cleared away by.
It's a good header down from Jimmy Dunn at the back post, and it bounced. He had it back to goal. Young striker Coley, he sort of swiveled, but he couldn't quite get enough purchase on the effort.
QPR on the turn on the edge of the box. Dembele's cross, it's flicked in, and Queen's Park Rangers have equalised here against West Ham through Kone. Look at the delirious scenes from the away fans. 9,000 QPR fans going absolutely balmy as Kone puts that into the back of the net, and it's 1-1 here against West Ham. 64 minutes gone in this FA Cup third round tie. Game on.
Lovely cross, in swinger from Dembele, right hand side, and Kone, in my opinion, has done very little in this game, but he got himself in the frame of the goal, and it's the faintest of touches. He's just helped on the delivery off his forehead, and it's just sort of looped up and over keeper Hermansson into that top left-hand corner for a brilliant equalising goal. I said there was going to be a goal. This cup tie's on.
You sensed it, Bradley, and it has been delivered. Kone flicking that ball past the outstretched hand of Hermansson and into the back of the net. It's 1-1 with 25 minutes of the 90 to go between West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers. Floated upfield, headed away by Queen's Park Rangers from the West Ham ball forward. It's out for a throw into West Ham on the right. I'll remember those scenes, Bradley, looking away to our right and just seeing that whole of that stand moving.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? Great scenes.
Flick from Bowen in field for West Ham. Castellanos has tried to help it on down the right, but Wan-Bissaka can't reach it before it goes out into touch for a throw-in. I mentioned that cup tie which QPR won back in the 90s against West Ham, but when QPR have been outside the top flight themselves, they've lost their last 12 FA Cup ties against top flight opposition. The last time they beat a team from the top flight when outside themselves was when they beat West Brom 1-0 in the 81-82 semi-final to get themselves to Wembley. The last time they beat a team from the top flight when they were outside the top flight themselves. But they are 1-1 here against West Ham thanks to Kone's goal. And this is right in the balance again as Kilman sends it forward to the West Ham goal scorer Somerville. Kilman across the back to Wan-Bissaka. Up the right he goes to Bowen. West Ham getting back on the ball again, trying to compose themselves after that equaliser. Mayers on the left-hand side. You're listening to Total Sport Live on BBC Radio London, 5 Sports Extra, and on BBC Sounds. Great to have you with us wherever you are. And just listen to that din from the QPR fans. Mayers moving up the left-hand side, helps it in field to Potts. He's sent a swerving ball out towards the right, doesn't reach Pablo.
Yeah, West Ham just getting the possession back again like you suggested, Andy, and trying to get a grip on this one. QPR falling back into that compact 4-4-2 defensive shape. On scoreline, they're back in this game. The onus is on West Ham to push here. The West Ham fans are just getting a little bit frustrated, aren't they?
Somerville, neat trickery, but couldn't quite find a teammate with his ball infield into the QPR box, and now the R's will try and break out with Dembele. Dembele turning back towards his own goal, sent it to Mbeng, then his ball forward is cut
Kone was onside, Kone was off. Challenged by Mayers.
Mayers has been penalised for a foul on Dembele.
Nunes none too happy.
And he's about to
QPR get that decision. Yellow card was that to Mayers. Souček to come on, like you say.
So I wonder who will make way here for West Ham. They've got a lot of attacking players on there. They've got Potts and Magassa in the midfield area.
There's a couple on yellows as well, isn't there?
Yeah, good point.
Wan-Bissaka, Magassa,
I mean,
Mayers now.
It's a great point, Bradley, because that can change everything in a cup tie when it's in the balance like this. If one team loses a player through a rash challenge, Magassa is the player to be replaced in the midfield by Tomas Souček. West Ham unbeaten in the last 5 home games against QPR. Most recently a 2-0 victory in the Premier League in October 2014. So it's a long time, isn't it? A long, long time for these two London clubs, not having met much in recent years. Headed away by Mayers, floated in towards Coley for QPR, but then cleared away. Souček heads it as far away as he can from the West Ham box. Comes back though towards Coley, just outside the left-hand side of the penalty area for QPR. He now rolls it back, and it's back into the box again. Headed away by Kilman. Nice layoff there by Castellanos. Somerville breaking forward across the halfway line. He's got Bowen making a lovely run across the pitch. Bowen tackle.
Oh, what a challenge. Steve Cook.
Tackle by Cook.
Fantastic.
He timed that brilliantly, didn't he? He saw how the move was going to progress before it happened, and he tracked Bowen and then went to ground at just the right time to dispossess him. And QPR can bring the ball away up the left through Norrington Davis. Coley, that's a lovely pass out to the left first time to Smith, who's then been fouled by Pablo, and it will be a free kick to QPR pretty much on the halfway line. They're giving as good as they get at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're equally likely to sort of get the next goal, the third goal in this game, if there is to be one, Andy, before full time, than what West Ham are. You know, you can just see that there's confidence, isn't there, in the noise of the travelling QPR fans, in the Queen's Park Rangers players, that glancing header from Kone has given them.
Just listen to the noise from the QPR fans. It's Sheffield United 3, Mansfield 4 in an absolute thriller at Bramall Lane. Kilman heading the ball away. Up in the air it goes again from QPR. Kone has flicked it on. Didn't quite reach Coley before it was cleared away by Wan-Bissaka. Then back it comes from Mbeng. It's come off the back of the head of Wan-Bissaka. He's then run it out towards the touchline, and a sliding tackle coming in from Smith has put it out for a West Ham throw-in. He's ratting around everywhere.
Brilliant. Smith buzzing around. He's everywhere.
Here's Coley. Good turn. He tried to play it to Kone first time, and Ezra Mayers will be able to clear it upfield. Somerville racing after it.
QPR are looking the more threatening. It's really clear. You know, and West Ham at the moment are just sort of clearing their lines and hoping that Bowen Somerville might do something on the counter-attack. Incredible, really.
Bradley Allen, the voice you can hear alongside me, the former Premier League striker, absolutely absorbed in this game between West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers. 1-1 with 72 minutes gone, as the ball is played up the left to Somerville. Elsewhere, Derby knocked out by Leeds United of the Premier League 3-1 in the early kick-off today. Arsenal are through, as you've heard, by 4-1 on the south coast against Portsmouth. Here comes a cross in from the right for West Ham. Souček's cross is blocked. It'll be a throw-in to West Ham out there on the right. It's 1-1 between Swansea and West Brom. 4-3 to Mansfield late in that game at Bramall Lane. 4-1 to Norwich, they're going through, and still 0-0 between Hull and Blackburn, as that one might be going to extra time. There's 80 minutes gone in that one. 4:30 kick-off for Man United against Brighton, and Hearts have beaten Dundee away to maintain their lead at the top of the Scottish Premiership, Bradley.
Yeah, good throw from West Ham on that right, and he was clever. The experience of Souček, he just sort of nudged into the back of Madsen and the QPR midfielder, did what the Czech midfielder wanted there, to head it out. West Ham corner.
Total Sport Live here at London Stadium on BBC Radio London and BBC 5 Sports Extra. 73 gone in this FA Cup third round tie. 1-1 between West Ham and QPR. Here comes the corner, punched away by Walsh, then helped clear by Smith. Back in it comes. Souček helping it out to the left. Castellanos' shot saved by Walsh. Back in it comes, headed clear right in front of the goalkeeper, and Mayers trying to get it forward again. QPR just about keeping West Ham at bay there.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Dunn to the rescue. Couple of efforts from Castellanos. The game is broke into life. Great watch now.
It certainly is. It was a slow burner in the first half, I think it's fair to say, but it's certainly got going now as the ball goes out to the right for West Ham. Bowen, that's a brilliant flick down the line. Looking to try and get the cross in now. Whipped in towards Pablo, headed up in the air by QPR. Dembele trying to break out. No foul on him as his breakout is halted, and then Coley has come in hard on the West Ham defender there.
Yeah, made a bit of it to Debo. I think the striker was a little bit late.
It's difficult to call now, isn't it, Bradley? It'd take a brave man to call this one.
Yeah, he lunged a little bit. His foot was just raised off the turf. Young striker's saying he got a little bit on the ball. There's a double effort, double block. Castellanos inside left position, 2 efforts towards the QPR goal, but solid defending, and he got in the way. Brilliant from Jimmy Dunn.
Jimmy Dunn bowled over by that shot that hit him, the second one, but got the job done, got in the way, and has kept it at 1-1 after the equalising goal from Kone, cancelling out the goal at the end of the first half from Crescencio Somerville. Throw in to West Ham.
Yeah, I thought that was QPR's way. Thought Mbeng's clearance come off the West Ham goal scorer. Julian Steffen's none too happy with the fourth official. A bit better from West Ham. They're just pushing here, aren't they?
Castellanos, he's spotted Bowen in lots of space. Norrington Davis gets out to try and shackle the England international. Bowen into the area, gets that left-footed shot away. It's blocked and it breaks for Kone. He was trying to get that ball forward to Coley, but his ball, or his passing lane, was blocked by Potts. Now in comes another cross from Wan-Bissaka, cleared away by Smith eventually up towards Coley. He's claiming a foul, but Todibo has not been penalised. QPR trying to clear it away. Madsen, calm as you like, just clipping it back towards Dunn, who clears it upfield. And now Coley breaking away, but out quickly was Hermansen, who's able to clip that ball up the middle of the field. Not sure why Jimmy Dunn thought he had time to bring that down.
It's getting nervous, isn't it? It is getting nervous, and it's just sort of a...
That's when the quality often shines through, doesn't it, Bradley?
There's a bit of panic from some of the defensive players who have generally been solid.
Somerville, his shot takes a deflection.
Great block.
Over the top it goes. Another QPR player throwing themselves.
Hayden that time, about the penalty spot. West Ham left-hand side. Somerville went central. The goal scorer off of his touch, tried to finish, but QPR bravely, engaged and got a great block in there. Corner West Ham.
Corner from the left-hand side for the Irons. Potts will send it in. Only Wan-Bissaka and the goalkeeper back for West Ham, and it goes towards the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked on by Todibo, but QPR should be able to clear this away, and they go up the touchline to Kone, scorer of the equaliser for Queen's Park Rangers. They continue to break upfield with Madsen, and then the tackle comes in from Todibo over on that touchline. Look at Kone just imploring
Smith.
the away fans to give more.
Reece Norrington did very well there. QPR sort of from the deep corner broke out on their left-hand side. And they just sort of took a bit of the sting out of the game, give them some respite, crossed the halfway line. They've got themselves a throw in here, and having withstood a little bit of pressure and a better spell for West Ham, QPR fans are encouraged once again.
No win in their last 10 games for West Ham. A run stretching back to the 8th of November. Desperately trying to come through this cup tie against Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship. Here's Pablo breaking in field. The new signing gets it to Somerville. Pablo again, working it out to Castellanos. Tati Castellanos looking for his first goal for the club. It's a great strike, and it's pushed over the bar by Walsh. It was close to the goalkeeper, but it was hit with such venom, he had to push that over the bar.
Yeah, encouragement for the West Ham fans. Just drifted out of the penalty box, received the ball to feet, parallel with the 18-yard line, central, 20 yards from goal. A stinging effort. Keeper Walsh tipped it over. Brilliant game now.
Real power in that, wasn't there?
Yeah, stinging drive, good effort.
Great hit by the Argentinian. Here comes the corner then for West Ham from the right. Bowen's going to send it in left-footed. In it goes towards the near post, headed up in the air. Walsh should catch this, and he does so right on the goal line. And it, with 11 minutes of the 90 to go, is 1-1 between West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers. As Mbeng comes striding out of defence, gets it to Smith, who's over on this right touchline. He's got Dembele for support, but he finds Kone just inside the West Ham box. Kone looking for support. He's got Kilman at his back, gets it to Dembele, who set up the goal. Clipping it in, it's caught well.
Yes, poor decision from Dembele. QPR haven't, for I would say about 5 minutes, and he had much attack. And on that occasion, that's where you just got to show and find more important composure, and he just sort of curled that ball in. I know from this side he crossed for Kone's goal, but he's really stretched this game.
Somerville breaking into the QPR box. Somerville gets the strike away. Another good block from QPR. Kone coming back to try and help out his defence. It's Potts. His shot is blocked as well. Coley on the breakout. There's no one up there with him at the moment, so he has to go backwards towards Dembele. Now they're coming forward, attacking the end where their fans are in this second half, QPR, and they've been lifted by that, I feel. They needed to find a way back in, and they did so through that goal from Kone. And at the moment, with 10 to go of the 90.
Yeah, we're going to get that late winner. You're teeing it up beautifully, Andy. Great game.
Coley trying to lay it off to the right, but it's not reached Mbeng, and it will be out for a throw-in to West Ham. Julien Stéphan applauding his team's efforts at the moment. He'll be loath to make a change, really, I would have thought at the moment, but he is waving someone over. He's getting a real tune out of his team, isn't he? But there's a player down for QPR. Is it Dembele? He's just...
Jimmy Dunn's got a grazed knee.
Yeah, there's someone down on the...
Dembele, yeah, is on the halfway line. He's getting some treatment. It's going to be a double change, I think, for QPR as we go into the last 10 minutes.
I think he as I say, they're playing so well at the moment, QPR. You'd think that he'd want...
Yeah, probably doesn't want to break the rhythm and the momentum that they've had in moments.
Just to let you know, it's still 4-3 to Mansfield at Bramall Lane. 92nd minute in that one, so Mansfield could be in line to produce a really big upset. It's not too much distance between those two clubs either in that kind of Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire area of the country. Swansea 1, West Brom 1. That looks like it's going to extra time. Norwich are sailing through with a 4-1 lead against Walsall, and Hull Blackburn also looks like it's going to take half an hour extra at least to find a winner. Man United Brighton coming up at 4:30 in this FA Cup third round weekend. Here come the changes for QPR. So Dembele is going to have to make way. He's walking over very slowly towards
Daniel Benny.
Daniel Benny.
Yeah, going to replace him.
He's going to be coming on. The Hong Kong born forward. He looks like he's going to be playing on the right hand side like Dembele was. And Reece Norrington Davis is also going off. And Sam Field is going to be coming on. So who's going to be moving out to left back? Bradley? Play Sam Field there?
Yeah, it appears that way.
It's not a natural fit, is it? Although he's...
No, it's still a back four, isn't it?
He's such a good player that you'd think he'd be able to cope with that. I've remembered at times he's had to drop in to defence before when needs must, but I haven't really seen him in that full-back position much before Sam Field, if ever. But he is now on as we continue with 7 minutes of the 90 to go. It's West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Big win for Harlequins in the Champions Cup against the previously unbeaten Stormers this afternoon, and Arsenal through to round 4 of the FA Cup, and will be eagerly awaiting the draw, as will fans of Brentford, Fulham and Chelsea. A few of the fans of some of our other clubs in London will be studiously avoiding it maybe now that they are out. But one of these sides will be progressing as well to represent London in the next round of the competition. Which one will it be? Todibo playing it forward, looking for Somerville, leaps and heads it, but can't keep the ball in play, and it will be a throw-in to QPR right-hand side, and it will be taken by Mbeng, the centre-half who was signed from Reading. Just turned 24 at the start of the month, just this last week in fact, as Somerville trying to spread that ball out to the right hand side, and then it's worked back to his goalkeeper by Todibo. Hermansen rolling it out to Kilman. Kilman's going to switch the play, looking for Bowen. Field's come a long way to make that.
Yeah, good start, first touch for Field off the bench. Just a moment, that's all this needs, I think, and it's going to be a late show either way. QPR are sort of making sure that they're compact and they're concentrating on the jobs that they've got to do. West Ham enjoying the ball, they're being afforded the football here, so the onus then is on them to find the quality to break down this QPR side.
Ball up the left for Mayers. The teenager rolls it back to Kilman. The big money signing from Wolves. Souček giving it to Somerville, breaking across the field. He's looking to try and feed Bowen here, and he has managed to. Bowen out on that right-hand side, whips in across. It's a great delivery just over the head of Castellanos, and then it flicks off a QPR defender when it comes back in and goes through to the goalkeeper, Walsh.
Yeah, again, essentially, Jimmy Dunn doing his job. And maybe hear from the distribution from Walsh, who's been yellow carded, I think, for time wasting. What's he done now? What's the decision of the referee? I'm a bit confused.
He's given a West Ham corner. Did he say that the keeper had taken it over the line before?
Yeah, possibly. It was out of play. Missed that.
So, corner.
Big moment this. Potts.
4 minutes of the 90 to go.
To deliver.
Souček's in there. Always a threat at these kind of moments. In it comes. It's headed goalwards and flicked up in the air just in front of the goalkeeper to keep it out.
Walsh looks a bit nervous, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They put that ball and they block. They load that 6-yard box. There's a lot of QPR players in there. He's sort of retreating, backpedaling.
It's Kone, I think, who got the block in just
off the line.
Goalkeeper. And it's going to be another corner for West Ham. Walsh comes, does get the punch in this time. Mayers will roll it back to Wan-Bissaka on the halfway line, and he'll go all the way back to goalkeeper Hermansen. Home crowd, don't like that too much. Now it's whipped forward by Mayers. Field heads it away, only as far as Pablo. And then back it goes again to Wan-Bissaka on the halfway line. West Ham camped inside the QPR half at the end of this second half, with extra time potentially looming. 3 minutes of the 90 to go. It's Potts with possession for West Ham. Rolled across the pitch to Souček. Now with Todibo. As darkness falls in East London, we could be in for a bit of extra football this evening here at London Stadium between Championship side QPR and Premier League side West Ham, after the equaliser from Kone of the Somerville goal at the end of the first half. Coley, great bit of skill from the young forward. He's managed to get away from 2 West Ham players there and helps it on down the touchline. Benny and Mbeng combining. In comes the cross, looking for Kone, gets the flick on it. But it's,
that might have been the chance. They haven't for a while, QPR, since that equalising goal. Got themselves into the West Ham half of the pitch, but again from the right, where the delivery come for the Kone headed finish. This time across his man on the volley, but it went into the turf, and it was a comfortable save for Hermansen, the West Ham keeper.
Bradley, Mansfield have knocked out Sheffield United away 4-3. Congratulations to them. They will be in round 4 of the FA Cup, Mansfield Town. The Stags march on, winners this afternoon along with Arsenal and Leeds. All 3 of those go through. We're going to have Norwich confirmed very shortly, 5-1 winners over Walsall. And then Swansea West Brom heading to extra time. Also Hull Blackburn heading to extra time as things stand. And this one could well be doing so as well, with just 1 minute of the 90 to go, plus stoppage time at the end of this second half. There won't be as much stoppage time at the end of this second half as there was the first, due to that lengthy treatment for Mavropanos. And the ball has gone out on the far side of the field for a QPR throw-in.
I think their efforts, there's 1 or 2 players who are fatigued, stretching off late on here as we nearly get to 90 minutes on the clock. The 4th official's just putting those injury minutes up. You know, we had a long 9 minutes, didn't we? That Mavropanos head injury at the end of the first half that resulted in the time for West Ham to score and put them in front in this cup tie. But QPR, I think, have earned extra time, maybe even penalties here for their efforts. They've given a good account of themselves this afternoon. I think their fans will be really, really happy, because it's been very workmanlike, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've really put a shift in, that's for sure, but it's not quite done yet for extra time. Castellanos breaking in behind the defence. He's trying to work it to Somerville. There's going to be 4 minutes of added time, intercepted by QPR. Maybe a break for them. They've not really got the players up here to feed, but maybe they can get it to Benny. Out now to Coley on the right-hand side. Coley, his cross comes off the back of Ezra Mayers.
Oh, he could have kept going. Maybe even slid the ball down the right-hand side. Coley in front of him for the fresher, more energetic legs of Benny, who's come on as a sub. The West Ham fans want them to push. I'm surprised putting Souček on the pitch. I know he's a midfield player, but you'd think they'd put him almost centre forward, Andy, wouldn't you? And West Ham here, when they work the ball wide, sort of toss across him, because Souček is a fine header of the ball.
It's almost like they're thinking, well, we'll save that ploy for extra time. They're fearful a little bit, maybe. Here's Kilman floating in a ball into the box for Bowen. Great leap, then an overhead effort from Castellanos. Doesn't come off, and QPR clear it upfield. It's way beyond Coley and through to Hermansen, the West Ham goalkeeper. 2.5 minutes to come, and if there's no goal, we'll be heading to extra time. Here's a ball in from Somerville. It's a good delivery, but headed away at the back by Jimmy Dunn. They look pretty tired at the moment, QPR. They need to go again, perhaps. At the moment, they appear to be looking at the clock.
Yeah, they want to do another sub as well to probably waste another 30 seconds. A young player that I know very well, Kieran Morgan, he's going to come on in these closing stages.
The former Tottenham youngster being ready, but there's a free kick for QPR to deal with first. A foul on Bowen, 5 yards outside the, or 10 yards outside the penalty area on the right-hand side for West Ham. Potts is going to be standing over this free kick to send it into the box. And here comes the change for QPR, and it's Ryan Coley is going to be making way for Kieran Morgan. It's not a like for like, but maybe Benny will go further forward and Morgan will be just behind him.
Yeah, he's played in different positions, even at fullback, Kieran Morgan.
He's got a goal in him as well.
He has, yeah, great scenes earlier on this season, was it just before Christmas, I think, with
last season as well, he scored a belter.
A couple of late goals.
So here he comes. And Coley,
good shift from Coley.
It really was, wasn't it?
Worked very hard this afternoon. Well done.
Not just effort, great quality at times as well. He carried the fight. Here comes the free kick from Potts for West Ham. Souček trying to keep it alive at the back post. He's been pushed all the way out towards the touchline, and QPR have won it back, and now they're looking for a very late break down the right touchline. Benny is chasing after a ball. Mayers is there first, and he gets it back to his goalkeeper. And Hermansen, with 40 seconds to go of stoppage time, is going to send one last Hail Mary forward, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit late from West Ham. They might have done this sooner.
Souček is up there, but he's beaten to it in the air by Dunn. QPR manager Julian Stefan is
he's really
energised, trying to
animated. He's trying to
breathe life in his team, isn't he?
Pull his players over the line here, isn't he?
It looks like it's going to extra time. Kilman sweeping a ball out towards the right-hand side, headed away by QPR. It'll fall for Smith, who wraps his left foot round it and clears it away into the West Ham half of the field. The whistles from the QPR fans wanting extra time. West Ham are still pushing. It's Tati Castellanos trying to break onto a long ball forward from Todibo. He almost volleyed it as it came over.
Yeah, it was a clever run. Just a long punt forward, pretty central, struck by Todibo. Sort of drifted through the two centre-halves there, didn't he? Castellanos, and as it come over his left shoulder, he wasn't able to get
He'd just be
contact
trying
on
to
the ball.
help it on, wouldn't he, if it came over his shoulder?
Yeah, little volley touch.
We're about to go to extra time, and it will be confirmed with the whistle here as that ball is sent forward by QPR goalkeeper Walsh. And 1-1 after 90 minutes. Queen's Park Rangers finding the equaliser in the second half after that goal from Somerville right at the end of the first period, but Kone helping that ball in from Dembele, just clipping it past goalkeeper Hermansen. and Queen's Park Rangers getting the leveller that their performances probably deserved. And we head into half an hour of extra time, and if they're still level after that, potentially penalties as well. Just saw Souček dashing down the tunnel to maybe get some treatment, but at the end of the 90 minutes here at London Stadium, it's West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Total Sport Live.
BBC Radio London.
Well, Bradley, this is cup football for you. You can see players getting quick massages on their calves and their hamstrings, their thighs, just to try and keep them warm. Players that are starting to struggle a bit, maybe. The West Ham players who played on Tuesday, of course, having to put in a real shift here this afternoon. Saw this in the Newcastle-Bournemouth game yesterday, where Eddie Howe was saying, well, it's the last thing either the Bournemouth manager or the Newcastle manager wanted, but the primary objective is to get through. So if you have to do it, if you have to do extra time, if you have to go to penalties, you do whatever it takes to get the job done. But those QPR players, a few of them, showing just how much of a toll this is taking on a big pitch.
Yeah, and I don't think we can underestimate sort of how important for both these sides in different ways a victory it would be. They've both got newer managers, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think the belief in the project with Julian Steffen's arrival and across this season, a poor start. They've had some good performances. They've started to pick up and improve in the Championship and lift themselves to a healthier position with their points tally against Premier League opponents, taking this game to extra time now. And if they could come through with a win in that period or penalty shootout, that would be amazing for them. From West Ham's point of view, like you say, West Ham haven't won. They're completely out of sorts in terms of knowing how to win a football match, and they're playing a lesser opponent this afternoon. We shouldn't forget that as well. So this is really big for Nuno Santo, his coaching staff, the West Ham fans, and importantly the West Ham players, just to get through to the next round. How they do that in the next 30 odd minutes of football or a penalty shootout, the West Ham fans, you know, probably won't remember that come the end of the season, but if it gives them just the confidence before they go into an enormous, arguably one of the most important Spurs-West Ham derbies for years at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that could prove to be really big next Saturday.
That is looming, isn't it, that game? But Nuno has just given a team talk to his team. They
another sub as well, I think. Is that Scarles coming on?
Yeah. Looks like Walker Peters might be coming on as well, Bradley. Carl Walker Peters is coming on for Wan-Bissaka and Ezra Mayers, so both fullbacks being changed. QPR is still in a huddle, getting a team talk from Julian Stephan, who, as I mentioned, had a famous cup win over PSG with Rennes in French football, won the Coupe de France, a first win for Rennes in that cup, first cup for Rennes, I think in 48 years, I think it was. So he knows what cup football's all about and loves cup football as a result of that, I'm sure. As the Rolling Stones rattles around the London Stadium. We've got two changes, and Scarles comes on at left back for Mayers, and it'll be Walker Peters for Wan-Bissaka. And QPR, a couple of their players have had extensive treatment during that break. One of them was Steve Cook, who, whenever I mention him these days, I have to, I'm duty bound to call him a veteran due to his lengthy time in the game. But he's still only 34, Bradley, which is, you know, spring chicken, isn't it?
It's done ever so well. Stellar career.
Born in Hastings, formerly of Bournemouth, of course, where he spent 11 seasons, Nottingham Forest, and now an owner of the club, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that you're correct, yeah.
Pretty amazing thing to be doing while you're still playing. But he won't be thinking about much else other than getting through this half an hour, trying to get QPR into the fourth round at the moment. So West Ham in the claret shirts, white shorts and white socks. ready to get underway again in this second half. It'll be a QPR kickoff in the first half of extra time. And QPR in the blue and white hoop shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, with their fans right behind them in every sense of the word in this second half, in that Sir Trevor Brooking stand behind Walsh's goal. And it's out for a throw-in right at the start of the first period of extra time on the right-hand side for the R's. And Beng will take it, the French-born Senegal under-23 international. Ready to launch this throw-in into the box. And here it comes. It's flicked on by a QPR player first, then it's hooked away by West Ham. Smith trying to get it back into the danger zone. It's dropped on the edge of the box for Kilman to volley clear. Back it comes. Forward from Sam Field. Then Kone trying to get a volleyed shot away. Cleared away again by Kilman. Nodded up the left-hand side to Smith. Flicking it forward to Kone. Kone pulling it back down the line. Field can't keep it in. It's out for a throw-in to West Ham on their right-hand side. And it will be taken by Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters with Todibo, Kilman and Scarles in that back line. We've got Souček and Potts in the midfield, and then out on the left Somerville, Bowen out on the right, and then Castellanos and Pablo, the two new signings, down the middle up front for the Irons. For Queen's Park Rangers, and Beng at right back with Walsh in goal. A centre-back pairing of Dunn and Cook, with left back now Sam Field, who's come on for Norrington Davis in the midfield. They've got Madsen and Hayden. Out on the left it's Smith. Out on the right it's Morgan, and then Benny and Kone up front. In comes the ball from the right-hand side for West Ham. It's flicked off the knee of the advancing Thomas Souček.
Yeah, good move. Nice
just
pass.
About saved.
Out to Bowen from Walker-Peters, the sub, and Souček run across the near post. He sort of thighed the ball, I think, towards the goal. Reaction save, no more than that from Walsh. Blocks it away. It came back to the Czech midfielder, and he nudged the ball over the byline and out for a QPR goal kick. But good moment for West Ham. I was going to ask, Andy, what's going to be the approach here for either of the sides? Do they just sort of sit in and keep it as it is and take it to the lottery of penalties? Or do they push and try and get a goal to put yourself in front? No, I'm not sure West Ham can as the home team.
The lottery, no.
QPR, they might, with one or two players definitely tiring here, opt to do that, especially if it's still 1-1 as we go into the second half of extra time.
Ball forward from Walker-Peters, cut out by QPR's midfielder Madsen. Then that's a foul on Smith as he tries to break in field, and the Northern Irishman will get a free kick there just inside the QPR half of the field.
He did well there as he jinked inside. Smith just got his body in the way and in front of Bowen. And the England winger just sort of made a bit of contact on Smith, and he used it. QPR a free kick. Cook's going to play forward down the left.
Just clipped it forward down the left. It's an attempt to control it there by Field on the touchline.
Yeah, not a good ball. He's facing the wrong way. Yeah. Sub-Field. First touch out of play, disappointing.
There's a couple of times he's not quite managed to keep him in on the left touchline. Neither of them were easy. I was going to ask you, Bradley, I know that it's not, priority number one for him or for West Ham fans at the moment, but do you worry that Bowen will, his England chances of going for the World Cup will be affected by, the general form of his team?
Well, he would, at his stage of his career, opportunity to get squad selection for a World Cup, will want to do that.
Somerville, it's broken for Souček, helping it on towards Bowen. QPR get bodies back, and Smith just gets it to Field to be able to clear it. Now Walker-Peters' cross blocked again by Sam Field. That's behind for a West Ham corner.
Yeah, come back to me on that question.
Yep.
Bowen is going to deliver this. Quick combination, West Ham, right-hand side of the pitch. Positive. And they have been threatening across all afternoon.
95th minute.
From corners.
5 minutes into extra time. And it will be a corner from Bowen for West Ham. Whipped into that near post again. Not fully cleared by QPR. And then Souček manages to try and get it out towards Bowen. He gets the ball first, but he just puts too much on it. And it's gone out for a throw-in, which QPR not in a massive hurry to take.
No,
out.
going back to the West Ham England winger Jared Bowen and that question, I think he's going to give himself every chance, because quite clearly he's gone on record and stated, the England manager Thomas Tuchel, he wants players that are playing football, and he's going to get that, you'd think, if he stays fit between now and the end of the season, and the regularity of that. But is he going to be a player that's going to be in form?
Yeah, and there's a lot of competition in those kind of areas.
Most definitely. You know, you look at Marcus Rashford doing well in Spain.
Yeah.
Look at Saka, Gordon.
Somerville, chance here, right-footed shot, another great save from Walsh. He's pushed that round the post, and Somerville can't believe it. He thought he was going to be celebrating a second goal there. Walsh had other ideas.
Mbeng was the player that was sort of caught out of position. I think he's got cramp and he's being stretched off. It was a bit similar to the goal, worked from right to left-hand side diagonally to the same player who scored it right at the end of the first half, Somerville. This time he opened up, tried to pass it round the defender, and it's a fingertip save by Walsh down to his left. Top goalkeeping that from the young QPR stopper.
Just 23, Medway-born goalkeeper. He's not the tallest, but my goodness, he's stretched to make two great saves from Somerville this afternoon. In comes another corner from Scarles, who's overhit it. And the left footer, it's got too much power in that. And they've really loaded the box there, West Ham. They'll be very disappointed, given that that's the first one he's taken rather than Bowen.
Yeah.
Having come on.
QPR get away with that. But I think they need to have their subs ready, because, you know, Mbeng's just sort of ambling forward. Done a good job defensively, but Somerville still looks fresh and sharp, and they'll probably try and play on that with the remaining minutes that we got, knowing that the QPR fullback is absolutely shattered.
Kone trying to work the ball out to the right-hand side. In comes the cross from Benny. It's going to be cleared away by Walker-Peters. And back towards his own goal goes Cook, hooking it back into the West Ham half of the field. Scarles gets there first, gets it to Somerville. Scarles again. Somerville's made a good dart down the left. Brilliant bit of skill from Somerville to get away from the QPR defender to the byline. In comes the cross. Castellanos! A first goal for the club for Tati Castellanos, and he's given West Ham the lead here in extra time against Queen's Park Rangers. He's got to give a huge debt of gratitude to Crescencio Somerville with a brilliant bit of skill down the left, a wonderful pinpoint cross, but Tati Castellanos was there, and it's West Ham 2, QPR 1.
Well, I just said about the QPR fullback having cramp and absolutely shattered, and West Ham with Scarles the sub moved the ball impressively down that left-hand side. It's a lovely pirouette and turn from Somerville, left foot cross, beautiful delivery between two defenders. Castellanos has had a frustrating afternoon, but he's in the right place. He jumped and headed into the goal brilliantly there to put West Ham in front. Big moment.
It was a bit of a throwback goal, wasn't it, really, in terms of a winger getting down the line, getting the cross in, and then the striker leaping and heading forcefully. But you pointed it out, Bradley. Mbeng is down. He's going to be substituted, and he was left for dead there by Somerville.
Yeah, he certainly was. He's off. QPR put a young player on that side.
Is it Adamson who's come on?
I believe so. He's not properly been agreed with the fourth official. The youngster sprinted on. Yeah, it is Adamson.
Yeah, he's just being told to just wait, because Mbeng is still actually thinking that he might be coming back on, but they've said that's that for Mbeng. They would have been desperate to get that done just a bit sooner, wouldn't they, Bradley? Because you'd seen it already.
Yes, pity really. It gives West Ham a big foot up here, doesn't it? It's going to take some effort, I think, for QPR to, for the second time across this fabulous cup tie, equal it up at 2-2, but you never know.
At Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.
Ouch.
Brajan Gruda has got the opener in that cup tie, which is underway. It's still 1-1 between Swansea and West Brom. That's also in extra time, but they've already had 110 minutes of that one, and half time and extra time between Hull and Blackburn. Still no goal from either side, so that one also, as things stand, heading to penalties. But West Ham have the advantage again here at London Stadium against Championship side Queen's Park Rangers, and Beng is walking around the pitch. Those QPR fans he's just walked past will be gutted that
yeah, the timing of that was not ideal, was it?
Yeah.
You know, there was warning signs moments before with a Somerville effort and Walsh to the rescue, but QPR are pushing here with Kone. Good challenge, cover from Kilman, and that's a goal kick. Excellent defending.
Comes across, shields it out, and it will be a goal kick to West Ham United over on away to our left hand side. And the West Ham fans finding their voice now as
yeah, they're much happier.
It's been a nervy afternoon for them, hasn't it?
No, it has, and we said about just the importance of a victory, but that was a bit of quality, wasn't it? That was the difference on that goal. Somerville's work, the cross, and you expertly commentated on there, Andy. The finish from Castellanos was a lovely downward header into the corner, and that'll really help his confidence upon being a big signing and a new arrival.
Well, Keely Adamson has taken over on that right-hand side of defence for QPR. A new signing, Australian, coming in. He's won the Australian Cup before, but first taste for him of the FA Cup at 22 years of age. At West Ham, deep in their own half, got a bit of defending to do. QPR harrying around, and they've been penalised there for a foul, but
yeah, Kone just sort of pressed in on Potts. Wasn't a huge amount of contact, but there was enough for the referee to deem that as a West Ham free kick. And you know, Nuno in the technical area, arms folded. I suppose he'll be thinking, with West Ham's run of form and poor performances and inconsistencies, this is still not done. But I just sense around us, the West Ham fans, they're confident now that they've got enough here to see this through.
Well, the other part of it is, you know, QPR, when they had the likes of Coley on, they carried a bit more of a threat. They've been tiring, but Smith still got that devilment as he runs towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a terrific run. He's slightly left the ball behind as Pablo gets a foot in, and then Hayden can't get it out to Sam Field on the left. And the gaps are going to start to open up here for West Ham if they can exploit them. Ball straight down the middle over the top, looking for Somerville, but Bowen's pass goes all the way through to Walsh in the QPR penalty area. The thing that just takes it away slightly for me for QPR is just that energy level now, Bradley. I mean, I think they'll still potentially get an opportunity, but it's whether West Ham will as well on the break. You know,
that's the thing. You know, West Ham are going to at times almost sort of fall back in and invite a little bit of pressure here, but knowing that they're going to be space, certainly through Somerville, Bowen either side on the counter-attack if QPR overcommit.
And people talk about the differences between Championship, Premier League. Often people talk about quality, but it's often fitness levels as well, isn't it? As Somerville breaking across the halfway line, still going strong now, looking out towards Bowen, but he's under-hit his pass. And QPR will look to bring the ball upfield with Benny. Cook has it at the back, floating it out towards the right-hand side. Adamson. It's almost at walking pace at the moment for QPR as they just try and secure possession. Now it's over the top looking for Kone. Kilman comes across, deals with that long ball forward, and it's clipped away clear towards Pablo. Pablo infield, and now it's out towards Bowen on the right. Bowen one-on-one with Sam Field. He's almost looking for support from his teammates to help him out here. Bowen all the way to the byline, then strikes it right-footed at a tight angle. It's over the bar.
Yeah, good switch of play. Accurate pass from Potts, central out to Bowen, very direct. You know, he was backpedaling. He got the defender inside the penalty box, so Field then couldn't really dive in or commit the challenge. Shifted onto his right foot, angle against him. A rising shot from Bowen, up and over the crossbar.
So, almost at the end of the first half of extra time. It is West Ham leading QPR by 2-1 in this FA Cup third round tie, being brought to you by BBC Radio London, BBC 5 Sports Extra, and on BBC Sounds. And West Ham with 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half to negotiate, and then 15 minutes if they don't concede, they are heading through to the fourth round. Can QPR fight back again in this cup tie? Arsenal already through this afternoon, beating Portsmouth 4-1 away. So the Premier League leaders and Champions League leaders and Carabao Cup semi-finalists through to the fourth round. Still in all competitions. Ball is flicked off the head of Sam Field and out for a throw-in to West Ham, which Walker-Peters strolls forward to take in no particular hurry, given the game script at the moment.
Yeah, West Ham with that Castellanos goal that's put them in front can play the game on their terms, can't they? They can sort of take their time on restarts, free kicks, goal kicks, throw-ins. There's going to be no rush. The fans will be happy for them to do that, because this would be a priceless victory. But a turnover there.
Oh, another block coming in from West Ham, and it's opened it up for Tati Castellanos. The Argentine moves it out to the right to Walker-Peters. Here goes Walker-Peters, the former Tottenham defender, looking for the right cross here. Peeling it back, looking for Somerville, headed to Souček. And that's the end of the first period of extra time. And West Ham have the goal out of it that they wanted. I think they've gone a bit early with this music, maybe, Bradley?
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah.
This is the sort of music you expect at the end of
the guy that's doing the tannoy not going to be in trouble if QPR level up and win on penalties with his music choice.
So how does Julian Stefan now, breathe some fire into that QPR team, because they've run themselves into the ground?
Yeah, they have. They've been really brave and courageous. They've given them their fans, brilliant travelling fans, noise, numbers from West London this afternoon.
They've got to believe there's another chance in it for them,
lots to cheer about, and they got to push here. They got to push, and Adamson fall back, even Field fall back, leave Cook and Jimmy Dunn at the back, and just swarm forward. And maybe then, if they do get a free kick and corner themselves, of course Jimmy Dunn and Cook can go up and attack it. Crosses into the box, like the goal.
Those QPR fans, they will be seeing their team coming towards them in the second half of extra time, and obviously
that's something.
That's how the goal came in the when it was coming towards that goal, and they really breathed life into the team in that period, didn't they? There was a real great link between the fans and the players.
Yeah,
when 10 minutes or so.
When they had that window of momentum, that's when they scored, and QPR could have, even with another half chance, maybe have nudged themselves in front, and then they managed to defend that and see that through at 1-1 in normal time. But West Ham found key quality and a brilliantly worked goal to put themselves in firm control of this one.
Well, the crowd are getting into it now, that's for sure.
But it'd be great for us if we got a leveller and it went to penalty kicks.
We'll have to see how it works out here, because at the moment West Ham are the team heading into round 4, and Queen's Park Rangers, despite all their efforts, might be heading out. But it's certainly not done yet. So the managers have a little word with their teams. And we've got 15 minutes to go to decide this one here at London Stadium. Gabby Roslin continues, by the way, with BBC Radio London on digital, here on 94.9 FM, on 5 Sports Extra, and on BBC Sounds. We will have the conclusion of this cup tie between West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers. And listen to the crowd. They're ready for one more go. Will QPR have it in them to fight back again, or will West Ham get that long hoped for victory? A victory that's evaded them since November the 8th. A chance to get a win under their belts before that huge match in the Premier League against Tottenham next weekend, as the ball is cleared away by Queen's Park Rangers. Flick on down the middle to Kone, tackled by Kilman. It'll break in the midfield for Queen's Park Rangers. Hayden comes sliding in. Referee's happy with that challenge. Now it's played down the left-hand side and it's headed away out.
Yeah, good challenge from Hayden. Not sure that would be allowed in the Premier League, mind, but QPR have played the ball forward with a bit of quality from field, turned around the West Ham defence. Todibo out. This would be a fab start to the second half of extra time here for the visitors.
Couple of goals in South Wales. Jed Wallace has scored for West Brom. As the ball comes into the box, Todibo heads it behind, corner for QPR. Yes, Wallace, the former Millwall player, scoring for West Brom, but Swansea equalising within 4 minutes in the extra time period. Zidane Inusa getting a goal back for Swansea, so 2-2 in that one. It's still going to to penalties as things stand. Hull Blackburn is still 0-0. That one has only got 8 minutes to go as well of extra time. That's going to penalties as things stand, and Brighton is still leading at Manchester United in the FA Cup third round. Here comes the corner for QPR, floated towards the back post. It's flicked back in.
It was Kieran Morgan who
just dropped his foot.
Didn't convincingly volley the ball. You know, it just needed a bit more venom, didn't it, on connection?
He wanted to kind of pass it across, but actually he could have just tried to hit that, because it could have flicked off anyone, couldn't it? The way he was hitting it back. There's going to be a long throw here for Smith. Paul Smith sending it in. Tempted flick on by QPR, then claims for a handball from the QPR fans, not given. And now a foot race down the flank with Bowen outstripping Thiel. Bowen going all the way up that touchline, now checking back, looking for support. He's got Walker Peters with him. He's running back down the line now, and he's brought everyone upfield from a West Ham point of view.
Yeah, he did ever so well there, Sam Field tracking back, but Bowen staying on the ball. West Ham have retained possession.
Walker Peters looking to try and get a cross in from the right-hand side. Soucek hits it in the end. It's headed away by Cook at the near post. Out it comes to Todibo, the former Toulouse and Nice centre-half, trying to play it forward. Eventually it comes back to him, and he'll go back to his goalkeeper Hermansen. West Ham leading 2-1, 107 minutes gone of the 120 we're expecting. And as things stand, West Ham heading through, courtesy of that goal in extra time.
Oh, poor pass from Dunn. Fair play to QPR. I think Julian Stephens said to his players, listen, we've just got to go after the ball now, man for man, and release from that 4-4-2 compact shape. That's either going to give West Ham space if they break it and get through that pressure and at QPR's defensive line, or QPR might just pinch and pick the ball and may be able to carry it forward.
I think they've been very, very well organised today, haven't they?
Yeah, they've shown good discipline out of possession, which is limited really West Ham to a load of chances across this game.
But as you say, they're starting to roll the dice now, aren't they? Look at Smith, still full of running, having come on. He slips as he tries to pressurise the goalkeeper's pass out from the back there. Does Paul Smith, 28-year-old former Linfield player. Here's Kone trying to break into the West Ham penalty area. He couldn't quite lay the ball off to Benny. And now West Ham breaking.
Oh, well done, Jimmy Dunn.
Somerville showed too much of the ball to the former Manchester United youngster, and Jimmy Dunn has made a great run up the right touchline. Now he's battling with Scarles. Scarles has gone down, and the referee's assistant has said that's a free kick.
I'm not sure.
No.
Just a good old-fashioned duel, that, wasn't it? Right in front of the West Ham and QPR fans on this near right-hand corner.
he's all he's done is lean on him there, but there's no real foul. There's got to be contact at times.
Another change for West Ham. Is that Irvine?
Maybe he just handled it, Jimmy Dunn, there as Skulls came in to challenge him.
Yeah, just a little nudge as Skulls was falling to the ground.
Yeah, West Ham preparing to bring on Guido Rodriguez. And now that change is being made, and it's the scorer of the second goal for West Ham, Tati Castellanos, who is going to be coming off after scoring his first goal for the club. And no matter what else happens this afternoon, Bradley, that is something you're always looking for, something to take away, aren't you? And it's huge to get a first goal for a new signing.
Yeah, well, it's often been a topic of debate, isn't it, across many years. The recruited centre forwards, strikers that West Ham have bought, but the only way you'll warm yourself to the hearts of the West Ham fans is coming in and scoring goals. And he's done that this afternoon.
It might, doesn't it, ahead of the next game.
It might prove to be a crucial one.
Guido Rodriguez is on. He won the big one, didn't he? The World Cup with Argentina, in part of that squad that beat France in the final, and won the Copa del Rey with Betis before moving to West Ham. A couple of Copa Americas as well, so he's got some pretty good cup pedigree. The veteran midfielder, here he is, chesting the ball down. Now helping it out to Somerville on the left. Putting in quite a shift this afternoon. Still running hard at the QPR defence, but can't hold on to it this time. And QPR will float it upfield, looking for Kone. Kilman covering him, heads it away as far as Skulls. Skulls infield to Rodriguez. Now Soucek.
I think when QPR do play forward and push, that somehow Madsen and Hayden have been very disciplined at the heart of it. Got to try and get up the pitch, especially if it's a longer ball, which sometimes Kone or now Benny won't win up against the West Ham defenders. Bowen's chasing one down.
Field going back with him, and eventually they both end up in a heap just over the goal line.
Yeah, it's brilliant work from Bowen.
Corner to West Ham.
It's been well received by the Hammers faithful.
I've got to say, Bradley, you mentioned it earlier on, Romain Barrel, this would have been, given how well Coley played, if they'd had that extra string to their bow.
Yeah, Coley, I think, did okay across the afternoon. He's a work in progress and a young striker that's been a bit stop-start. A couple of goals recently, but really needs to get more experience at first-team level. But Barrel has shown some good form, and
he would have loved it,
yeah, he's a player of promise.
He would have had a right go at them, I think.
And a decent signing, and I think he would have been licking his lips to put in a solid performance this afternoon.
Corner for West Ham. Skulls sends it in. Walsh catches it just under his crossbar, and QPR still in this with 8 minutes to go of extra time. It's a early boot up the touchline to try and free Smith.
Yeah, it's a good try by Walsh. Smith pushed Rodriguez back there as the goalkeeper, sliced a long clearance and punted it. It's gone off the field of play. West Ham are taking an age on the throw-in, but they're in a position to do that. And of course, when Nuno's managed teams, when they've been in a better place, they're the masters of time wasting, aren't they? I think of Nottingham Forest and Wolves in those spells there.
Potts, look at Bowen, he's got so much space to work with here. Sam Field back-pedalling, Bowen into the box, left-footed strike, good block from Field in the end. It's come out to Soucek, encouraged to shoot, his cross headed away again by QPR at the back. They've put in such a shift here, QPR, but they look out on their feet at times, trying to press West Ham late in this game. But it's been a really good effort. It looks like Swansea West Brom is going to penalties. Same with Hull and Blackburn. This one might be settled by that goal from Castellanos in extra time. QPR trying to break up field. Not really a way out at the moment. Kone has managed to win his team a free kick, flicking that ball up into the hand of Potts.
Yeah, this has got to go from Walsh. I know we've still got 6 minutes or so, but Jimmy Dunn, Cook, they're shattered, bless them, aren't they?
Wow.
They're ambling forward. West Ham are trying to adopt a high line here. Can West Ham deal with it defensively? Kone's got him behind Potts. Can they earn a corner here?
He's got it near the byline and the corner flag. Bit of skill just to try and keep it away from the West Ham defenders. Then the West Ham players managed to get the ball off him. Now it's worked to the edge of the penalty area. Morgan gives it to Adamson. Tough tackle coming in from Somerville, and it's out for a throw-in to QPR.
Yeah, he's a bit lucky there, Potts. Just nuisance value really from Kone by the corner flag. But Smith again can do a sort of a lower trajectory. Long throw here from this near right-hand side. It's pretty much everyone, isn't it? Barring Walsh, Cook inside the box.
Smith launching the throw-in into the penalty area, flicked on. Kone heads it across the face of goal, and it's shielded out.
Yeah, it came in too quickly, and he couldn't direct his headed attempts. West Ham goal kick.
What we were talking about, though, you know, you're thinking, well, how are QPR going to get the goal that they need? But you know, even from a long throw, that could easily fall to someone off a deflection. Kone could direct his header a bit closer to goal, and it can just come from something like that. It's still not done this, and that's why the West Ham fans are sitting nervously. Hull Blackburn is going to penalties. Not a single goal in 120 minutes in that one between the two championship sides. Also looks like it's going to penalties between two other championship teams in Swansea and West Brom, as Benny showing great pace to get onto a ball forward there, and it's a good tackle coming across by Kilman. Scarles was beaten there.
Yeah, he was lucky, Scarles. Benny showed good anticipation. Game stretched.
Somerville moving forward to the edge of the QPR penalty area. It's a little nudge, trying to keep hold of the ball, but back comes Adamson to get that ball back to his centre half, and QPR will clear it away upfield. Kone just on the shoulder of Todibo, who does well to head that ball up in the air, but it's nodded forward towards Kone again. And then Souček hugging Jimmy Dunn there, who's still way forward.
They're trying damn hard, aren't they, QPR? Wow. He's quite direct, but what the heck, Andy? They've got to do it.
Yeah, they've just said to Jimmy Dunn, you stay up there now, haven't they?
That's a good ball. Cook. Field stretched here. Oh, yeah. Keep the ball in play, Bowen. Brilliant. Really unselfish running now.
Goes back to deal with it. Bowen puts him under pressure, and Field clears it out in a touch on the far side for a throw-in to West Ham, and they won't be in a hurry to take this. 3 minutes left of extra time, and West Ham tantalisingly close now. The FA Cup fourth round after falling at this hurdle in the last two seasons. And I think more importantly to many here,
it's not the Premier League, but a win's a win, the position that West Ham are in.
That's it, isn't it? That's the most important thing this afternoon, just to get that winning feeling back. Last win here, or anywhere, for West Ham came against Burnley back in November, after they beat Newcastle the week before. They should have beaten Bournemouth as well the week after the Burnley game, but they took off Callum Wilson 2-0 up.
Yeah, it's a silly challenge from Smith.
Yeah, he's dived
overzealous there. That's what Walker-Peters would have wanted. West Ham just played the ball down their right-hand side towards that corner flag, and he tackled from behind, right in front of the assistant.
Yeah.
And Scarles, the young fullback, is just strolling across here, and he might waste a minute before this ball is taken and comes into the box or played short.
Well, that's it. He can go across as a left footer, can't he, and say, oh, I'm going to take this. And now they've decided, actually, no, we won't have you take it. You go back. And that's 30 seconds chewed up there.
Yeah, no intent.
Short
for West Ham to seal this with a third, really, is there?
From Bowen to Somerville. Now Rodriguez, Potts, Walker-Peters. Gets it in field, and he's given it away. He hasn't quite found Souček with the pass. And QPR have the chance to break here with Morgan. Getting away from Pablo, playing it up the left-hand side. Oh, that's a tough sliding tackle coming in from Bowen. Puts it out for a throw-in to QPR, who've got just over a minute to try and find an equaliser, which would surely send it to penalties. I say that because Newcastle-Bournemouth yesterday, they had 2 goals right at the death. Newcastle thought they'd done it, and then Bournemouth equalised and sent it to penalties. In Go QPR again with a tough tackle. It's forward into the penalty area, booted away by Todibo. It's out for a throw into QPR level with the
might have been a foul on Madsen. He tried to, when the ball come to him quickly, sort of rather flatly play the ball back into the box. Bowen followed through a little bit, but a long throw. We're nearly there.
Here it comes then. Almost last chance saloon this for QPR. Long looping throw into the box, headed up in the air. Now Adamson tries to help it back in there. Header across the penalty area from West Ham and then hooked away by Potts. They're going to have to head this back to goalkeeper Walsh. He's under pressure from Somerville. Catches the ball in his own penalty area, then rolls it out.
Well, they're all up QPR. Kieran Morgan's got to play this diagonally with quality.
Morgan sending it forward. Is that too close to goalkeeper? It's actually a very good ball, but
he didn't go, Benny.
Get to it.
He didn't gamble. Didn't see the trajectory of the ball. Kieran Morgan sliced it a little bit, and it's drifted through to Hermansson.
Long throw upfield from Hermansson. He's trying to find Pablo. It's then played back to the goalkeeper Walsh, who couldn't catch that, so he's just thumped it up into the air. It drops just around the centre circle. We've just got the 1 minute to be added at the end of this extra time. West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and they're almost there now. West Ham, penalties between Swansea and West Brom, as well as Hull and Blackburn, but it looks like West Ham have done just enough with that goal from Tasti Castellanos, as the ball is booted down the middle by Queen's Park Rangers. Headed away by West Ham, chested down by Pablo, but he's not held up onto the ball there, and QPR will have one last attack, perhaps. Kone, good bit of trickery to flick the ball infield, and he's won his team.
Did ever so well.
Free kick.
Bit of play acting, really. Morgan played the ball down the side. He didn't look as if he was going to get first to the ball. He drew a foul. The refs bought it. Final action. What do you think, Andy?
Well, I mean,
Madsen, outswinger. QPR's right.
This is it. This is...
Goalie's up.
If they don't get something from this...
It's been some FA Cup weekend, hasn't it?
Is there some more drama here? 2-1 West Ham lead. The 1 minute to be added has already gone. Here it comes, the free kick. Headed away. Kone racing for it, but he won't reach it in time. And West Ham have done it. A first win for the Hammers since November the 8th, when Burnley were here. It's been a long time between drinks, as they say. A run that has encompassed the whole of the festive period and into the new year, but they have got that winning feeling back. Crysencio Somerville scoring in first half injury time. An equaliser for a really game Queen's Park Rangers, scored by Kone, but the eventual winner scored in extra time. Somerville with more great work, setting up a header for the new signing Tati Castellanos, who scores a header for his first goal for his new club and sends West Ham into the fourth round of the FA Cup, where they will join Arsenal, Chelsea, Fulham and Brentford. The draw is still to come. We'll have more reaction to this FA Cup third round weekend on Total Sport tomorrow night from 6, as well as on the breakfast show tomorrow on BBC Radio London. But it's finished here. West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Total Sport Live.
BBC Radio London.
So Bradley, credit to Queen's Park Rangers. They gave it such a solid effort, didn't they? But they couldn't quite get it done in the end.
No, spirited performance from QPR, against a struggling West Ham side, but they've come through. They've got themselves, the Hammers, an all-important victory here. That will pick them up a bit, give them some confidence in what we've said across commentary. A massive London derby for them in the Premier League next week at Tottenham Hotspur, who are struggling themselves. But QPR hopefully can take something from this. Defensively, they were organised, they showed some threat in moments. Back to the Championship for them. Hopefully they can get a run of good performances, importantly results, points on the board to push closer to the playoffs. But I've got to say, both sets of fans, we don't often compliment them, but they really made this a good watch.
It certainly was. Bradley, great to have you.
Great afternoon. Thanks, Andy.
As always, Bradley Allen, regularly part of our commentary team, of course. Thanks so much to Tom and to Jamie back in the studio, as well as Alan down at Fratton Park. But in the battle of East London against West London, it's West Ham who have prevailed here against Queen's Park Rangers, winning it in extra time thanks to their new signing, Tati Castellanos. That's it from me, Andy Rowley, here at London Stadium. We will have a programme with Dot Adebayo, of course, on the way as usual at 6 o'clock this evening. But let's join Gabby Roslin with the Make a Difference show. A good evening from me.